Till then, we should get it going. Nick Ash, what up, man? Check, 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 check. Check, 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 check. Check. Alright, what are the things I'm going to have to... Word, man. Just wait for everybody to pop in so we can talk about football and smoke some blunts. And, you know. James, what up, man? So, yeah, man. We got 5 minutes. I'm a little bit ahead of time. I'm a little bit early, and since I'm a little bit early, I'll play some music.
Destiny was written, yeah, written in stars. To then on. Life, sleep, calamity, not so merrily float in the stream. Hey,
And once again, it is my motherfucking homie.
Ew.
Yo, see, now we got this shit. Like, figured out.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So, as it looks like it's going to be a recurring theme that Nyce is always going to be late. Rapper time.
No doubt.
Yeah, so, it is what it is. It is what it is. It is 8 o'clock, and this is week 3 of Gray Matter, where nothing is black or white except the host. And while I roll the fuck up... Oh, god damn it. Why do I keep deleting it? I'm such an asshole. Somebody play my motherfucking theme song.
333 R.I.P.P. Don P. Ph.D. Yeah.
There's a theme song?
Yeah, I got a 333 TV theme song. You gotta go on YouTube to hear it, though.
TV, tell the homie. Mob Deep Mondays, that's every day, thoughty. It's all for the community. That's what P showed me. We lost without the unity. Where the fuck is the OGs? R.I.P.P. God bless the real. Only for the righteous. The rest will go to hell. Flipping through the book of Revelation, figure it out. Transliterate the translation, do it yourself. It's the last days, life is a test and we in a cage. Concrete jungle, everyday struggle. Fuck the pain, I'm on some HNIC shit. Hegelian 3 shit. If you don't know what I mean, you was never G. Real shit, R.I.P. Yo, P, play that beat back, 333. Burn some weed, re-repeat that. Shake me up a tuka pack, break me off a 20 piece. I'm gone, never looking back. Y'all can't talk to me. R.I.P. TV, tell the homie. Mob Deep Mondays, that's every day, thoughty. It's all for the community. That's what P showed me. We lost without the unity. Where the fuck is the OGs? Like the weed, play some IMD for me. It's hell on earth for real, but y'all don't wanna see paper trail politics. All the shit was prophecy, strictly for the family. Peace to the prodigy. R.I.P.P. I sleep when it's time for me. Dope dreams bring the skizzy, pour the Hennessy. Searching for some inner peace, couple hundred G's. Deadly weapons and some weed just for you and me. R.I.P.P. I sleep when it's time for me. Dope dreams bring the skizzy, pour the Hennessy. Searching for some inner peace, couple hundred G's. Deadly weapons and some weed just for you and me. Yo.
Shit right there. That's not shit.
My timing is impeccable. I finish the blunt as soon as he's done with his lyrics every single time. Yo, one of my fans, shout out to Page of the Prince, just sent me that record, dude. I didn't ask for nobody to... he killed it, too. And I was just like, yo, I'm going to use this for the theme song. He's like, word. So I was like, fuck yeah, I wanted a theme song. Yeah, man, he gave me one. Yo, so, let me make sure our audio is doing all right. Because I know when I talk, I be loud as fuck. So it is Gray Matter Week 3. The Gray Matter crew is killing it, Cary.
Yeah. We on it right now.
Yo, our win-loss record for picking games is absolutely impeccable.
Which I have to say is crazy considering just like what we talked about last week, how these first 4 weeks are really preseason, and we really saw that this week with all the ACLs. It was like 7 of them, and other people going out with other injuries. Tough week. Tough.
Yeah, apparently the turf where the Niners were playing at against the Jets, apparently that was the first time they've used that surface.
Yeah, they said it was sticky. Okay.
Well, if it's hot and it's the first time they ever used it, just another win for the Jets. Great organization, guys. Way to hold it down.
It's crazy. The good team had all the devastating injuries, but the Jets seem to come out unscathed, just with another L. That's all.
I mean, oh man. So I had a question earlier that I was going to wait until Nyce got here, but fuck it, because I don't want to hear his answer anyway. He's always positive about the Jets for some fucking reason. So which New York team? Which New York team gets designated down to the XFL after this season?
Yes. Easy.
Yo, wouldn't it be crazy if the Vikings end up going 0-16 when everyone thinks it's going to be the Jets? Because the Vikings are terrible.
Oh, they are bad. I mean, they got rid of Xavier because they were claiming that like he was getting roasted, but I mean he was their best corner. Let's just keep it real, no matter what. He's still the best. I mean, you have down years. Everybody balls, but you have down years sometimes. The best ballers have down years, so they should have kept him. I don't understand. You replace him with younger players who haven't been in the league as long as he's been, and expect him to just ball out.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that defensive front. It used to be dominating, and now that entire defense doesn't exist. Now we see exactly how good Stephon Diggs actually really is by his absence. And now Adam Thielen, you got to work against double coverage now, homie. Let's see how good you really are.
And you got rid of Everson Griffin. Send him to the couch. That Dallas team.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on up there, but I never once in my entire football watching life thought that Kirk Cousins was the answer. So I don't know what the fuck they're doing up there.
And they got Yannick Ngakoue, but who do you have on the other side to counterbalance his pass rushing? So you have him. He's just getting doubled. He hasn't done anything yet.
Well, that's because Danielle Hunter got hurt. So now you're looking at Ngakoue is by himself.
By himself. And then Barr he's done for the year.
God, so many injuries.
Yeah, that's it. So it's all on Dalvin. But how long can he cook when teams can clearly see can't pass? Because he's going to pass to Justin Jefferson, who's the rookie. I mean, Kirk Cousins has always been a tunnel vision quarterback. Always, always, always. And he's always looking at Thielen. That's it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you have Irv Smith, who should be balling this year at tight end. He should be balling this year, but he's not seeing the rock. So, I mean... It's bad.
I just can't see it. I just can't see Minnesota doing anything except being really, really bad this year, which is going to make them. How many years does Kirk Cousins got left on this deal? Can they get out of it after this year?
I mean, because he signed it. He signed it 2 years ago.
Yeah, this is his third year, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, if the only way they're gonna have to eat that. They're gonna have to eat that contract because no one's gonna. I mean.
No, but I know that there's no way that they didn't write some wiggle room out of that at the end of that contract. It couldn't have been for more than 5 years. So we're in year 3. So
5 years. So I mean, they just got to suffer through right now.
Yeah, that's terrible because that team had a lot of potential, to do something.
You got to think they signed him to that deal with the group of players that they had around him. You get rid of Diggs, got rid of one of the biggest pieces that helped him get that deal. And that's his poor planning. But I mean, they're not the only team that's in danger of catching the donut. I mean, because the way Carolina is looking.
Well, now with it's injuries across the board.
And to see the way Cam is balling, I'm sure they're like, yeah. I mean, as much as I love Teddy Bridge, good dude, but good dudes don't win you games at quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Ballers do.
Teddy Bridge over troubled waters once again.
Yeah, it's not looking good for Carolina.
It's not looking good for a lot of teams, but once again, we are early, and the injuries are going to shape the rest of this midway up until at least week 8. You're going to see players that are physically capable of handling, who actually put in the work necessary to go straight from working at home to football season. So you're seeing the players who weren't able to prepare and who probably necessarily didn't have the mental fortitude. The younger players didn't know what they were really necessarily facing, and then some of the not younger players, but the say 3, 4, 5 year guys don't have the money to have a full workout facility and a personal trainer on staff at all times. So you're looking at a lot of people, and these are the people who are getting hurt. And it's
And, you know, the gym,
all.
they couldn't go to Planet Fitness to get their thing on. I mean, and also, and then look, just like you see after every preseason, these free agents getting picked up. Balake Bortles got signed by Denver. Balake Bortles.
Wasn't that a character on one of the Mortal Kombat's, one of like the third or fourth one?
I mean, and so you look at that. So you sign him. Cortland Sutton goes down. I mean, he just came off an injury. He's chasing down an interception, and then he rips his ACL. So now your number one receiver is the rookie, Jerry Jeudy, who was doing decent with Locke, but Balake, that's who you get. That's the answer.
I mean,
there's nobody else out there.
I mean,
nobody out there?
Yeah. Also, didn't Cortland Sutton's done for the year? Didn't Drew Lock is hurt? Didn't Jeff Driscoll come in and play?
Jeff Driscoll did come.
So you have to make a choice. It's not going to make a choice because this idiot hasn't even been in the system. Block A. So you're looking at Jeff Driscoll's getting a start with Cortland Sutton now down, and they're facing Tampa Bay's defense this week. So if you are into fantasy, I would pick up Tampa Bay's defense if you were on FanDuel because that's who I'm taking this week.
Yeah. I mean, and they're just getting better and better.
Yeah. Now we can move on to something positive.
Well, especially now that we knew it was going to happen. We just didn't know when. That Fournette was just going to be entrenched and getting the bulk of the carries. You get Tom, gets them the lead, and now it's looking like him and Mike Evans are having a little synergy right now. And then Fournette to be the finisher. I mean, cut.
Cary's a little bit frozen, so what I will add to that is all of that was done this week without Godwin. So,
and they haven't even started really working the tight ends in.
And
that
was done without Godwin. So they only have their ceiling is a lot higher than it is right now. It's crazy because if you look at that roster on paper, literally the weakest thing is either going to be the kicking game or the offensive line. So everything else, their defense is absolutely loaded and fast, like very, very fast. So you're looking at a team that doesn't necessarily have to bring linebackers off of the field to throw in more DBs because these linebackers can fly, dude.
And Shaq Barrett hasn't even gotten busy yet. Like, he hasn't even really done anything yet.
You know who has, though, is Sue. Sue is making an impact early. Technical difficulties happening all the time. Well, we got Cary froze, so the show must go on. It's not like I ain't done this before. So anyway, I don't know where the hell Nyce is at. We will go over each game for week 2 because I do make notes on everything. And until Cary gets back in here, the first game that I watched, because I am Tom Brady's biggest fan, is definitely Tampa Bay, Carolina. And, I mean, what else did you expect? It's Tom. You know, they have such an abundance of weapons that they don't necessarily even have to use all of them. Chris Godwin didn't even play, and they still were just like, we can do whatever. Now, the craziest thing to me is the backfield for Tampa Bay has Mostert was a real number one, but now he's hurt. And I don't know if he's necessarily a real number one, Flea, but because I don't know if he can handle the beating, but he is a big play threat. That is for sure. Andrew, I just got into fantasy football this year. So far, I'm up, like $36 or whatever. I do fuck with FanDuel so I can pick new lineups each week and I don't get married to something, because in week 2, my lineup, 4 out of the 5 players that I picked went down halfway through the game. So I didn't do as well as week 1, but I'm new to the shit. But it's cool. It's cool. Now that Tom isn't on New England, I can play fantasy football, because when Tom was on New England, I would have literally just picked all New England players. So, that Christian McCaffrey injury really is going to kill any chances that Carolina had to even be irrelevant. I do look for Tampa Bay's defense to end up probably in the top 3. It's going to be them in Pittsburgh, battle it out for the top defense in the league. It is apparent that Tom Brady is going to use, and Bruce Arians and Byron Leftwich are going to use Shady McCoy as Tom Brady's third down running back. And that works because Shady's got good hands, and he's great in open space. So I do look for him to have a bunch of touchdowns, maybe not necessarily a whole lot of yards, but he will put up some points. Let me add Cary back in. Guess who's Bazak?
Back in effect, yo.
Yeah, this shit sucks doing this by myself, so good looks for coming back.
I don't even know what happened.
It happens, man. We could have a whole discussion about that, but this is not what we do here. We talk about fucking football. So anyway, I've been talking about the Tampa and Carolina game while you were gone, because that's the first game that I did watch, because I'm definitely watching Tom. It sucks that CMC is out for a few weeks, and what could possibly, if they go like 0-4, 0-5, 0-6 while he's out, do you even put him back in the lineup the rest of the season? Do you just sit him out and wait for next year?
No, they're going to put him back in.
Oh, they're going to have to, because they're going to have nothing. But realistically, I wouldn't.
I'm going to tell you, that'll make him a disgruntled player. He's a cat who wants to be in. He's trying to come back in 2 weeks.
You are correct on that one, sir.
So you don't, and he is your franchise. So you don't, especially now that Cam's gone, he is the franchise. You don't want to fuck with that.
All right, so the other things that I noticed in the game is that Shady McCoy is definitely going to be James White / Kevin Falk in that offense, because he's got great hands, and
if he could catch the rock.
But he's so good at open space that if he can build that trust with Tom, that he's going to score. Maybe not double digits, but he will get a bunch of touchdowns, just because the third down running back in a Tom Brady offense always gets a lot of touchdowns.
That is true, but I will say this though. He is a little longer in the tooth now, and being that Fournette, he's pretty much taken over the lead back. Let's see, does Ronald Jones have hands? We need to see if Ronald Jones has hands, because Ronald Jones had such a good camp, and he was going to be their lead back. What do you do with him? Like, he finally is coming into his own. You can't just sit this guy. You got to figure out a role for him. So if you can't just have Shady as the third down back, and then Ronald Jones just sitting there twiddling his thumbs. So we got to find out if Ronald Jones could make plays out of the backfield, catching the rock.
What I think with Ronald Jones, what you do is you just you give him some carries and you keep him involved in the game somehow. Yeah. And then in the middle of the season, we're talking like weeks 10 through like 12, 13, 14, when Leonard Fournette starts fumbling like he always does, and you need to get him off the field, then now you have Ronald Jones with fresher legs down the stretch. And then, in the end of the season, you can put a pissed off Leonard Fournette back in, and, it'll work out psychologically.
Yeah. Save him for a playoff run, which you don't really know that much about. Just like he only sniffed the playoffs one time.
Look, they're literally going to save Gronk for the playoffs. They're not going to use him at all until it counts.
I mean, right now he's just blocking, which he's also excellent at.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah.
So the other thing that I had in here was, I mean, you know me. Nobody's watched more Tom Brady football than me, and people need to calm down. Early in the season, in games that don't really matter, Tom always has bad throws because they don't matter. Like, he's a pressure player. Week 1, week 2, he's going to overthrow. Everybody's overthrowing people.
Everybody.
So, and then the other thing, and we talked about this last week, and I talked about it at length because it's really interesting to me. So, in this game, once again, the aggressor gets flagged, the retaliator gets flagged, but the aggressor gets the penalty. And so that's 2 weeks in a row that I've seen this happen. So I'm guessing, and nobody's confirmed this, that the referees in the offseason were mandated to call this different. That's 2 weeks in a row it's happened, blatantly.
I can see that. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Well, especially now, I mean, you want to minimize as much. I mean, it's football, it's full contact, but
Andrew, you are correct. Edwards-Helaire and Jonathan Taylor both look legit as rookies. Especially Jonathan Taylor looks really good. So Marlon Mack probably lost his job already. And that's what happens because the NFL is a game of younger and cheaper. So anytime you can make somebody who's older and has a higher salary expendable, you definitely get rid of them. It's always about cap space. And it's the same thing that's going to happen with Tyrod Taylor that always happens to Tyrod Taylor is he plays for a few weeks and then all of a sudden the rookie or the younger player behind him gets a shot, just like this week. Justin Cary gets in there and lights it up. So Tyrod Taylor, they're going to keep listing him as questionable and whatnot until Cary doesn't play as well. So we'll see. That was about it for that game. I do look for Tampa's defense to absolutely dominate Denver in week 3. Like, just absolutely dominate them. And I am definitely taking Tampa's defense. So let me get Cary in here for the 13th time, and we're moving on to the next one. So
where there's a will, there's a way. I had to switch to my phone because the laptop is fucking tripping. But
well, this camera actually looks better anyway. It's very. So anyway, the second game that I really looked into because I'm interested in. I thought Detroit was going to be better this year, but once again, Detroit is just Detroit. So. And it seems, and I also had Aaron Rodgers started on my fantasy team, so I'm definitely going to check in on that and see what happens. But it wasn't Aaron Rodgers that was the star; it was Aaron Jones, who absolutely destroyed Detroit. So, the way I look at it, whoever's playing against Detroit, their defense sucks.
They do. And see, I think Matt Patricia is trying too hard to be like the hoodie. Because you have 4 running backs but really no continuity. So are you telling me that 85-year-old AP is your starter when you got rookie DeAndre Swift, you got second-year guy Kerryon Johnson, you got this other cat over here who can catch out the backfield. So like, what is your? I know Galladay was gone, but Galladay is coming back. But you still had other weapons. You know what I'm saying? Some other weapons. Hawkinson is dope. What are we doing, Patricia?
Yo, so my question that I had for you is, we already know that if they continue on this path, that Matt Patricia is going to lose his job. That's for sure. Is when he loses his job, because it's going to happen. When they take his job, Does he go back to New England as a D coordinator?
Yeah, he gonna try.
That's the question, though. That's the real question: is are they going to take him back?
Yeah, he gonna try.
Of course he will.
See, Josh was smart. He was like, yeah, I could have taken that job, but nah. Why don't you go ahead, Matt, and tell me what it's like? I'm gonna go ahead and sit right here. Oh shit, what's up, Cam? Yeah, I'm gonna work with you now.
Crazy.
Because Josh don't have to do nothing but sit there and wait for Hoodie to retire and then just take over at New England. He'll get all the shit he needs and then just take over right there.
Yo, so what happens when Robert Kraft makes Steve Belichick the head coach and passes over Josh McDaniels?
So then Josh is going to whip out some other tapes from when Robert Kraft went to another rub and tug, and then he's going to be like, oh, you think you got away with that one? Watch this.
Yo, he probably got like a whole case full of footage from like rub and tugs and like all this weird shit that they do up in New England, and like all these practice footage that they've been stealing because they got like robot pigeons and shit flying through other teams' stadiums.
Hell yeah.
Yo, whatever it takes, man. You know me, man. I have always supported them as an organization because we're going to push it to the limit of the rules to get this W.
Yeah.
I fucks with it.
I feel like Josh is fully entrenched.
Of course he is, because there's no way. And they told him that. Like, listen, man, if you stay here, when Bill's done, it's yours. Mm-hmm. And he'd be stupid to leave. He's already in there.
Word. They love him. They know him. He's running that shit.
His his kids go to school there. Like, come on, man. Like, you're there. You're in there. Yeah, so, Aaron Jones got super busy. There wasn't really a whole lot. I think Detroit's just really terrible. Again, it's just another terrible team that is hard to judge. Green Bay, yeah, they look good and they're going to be good, but it's really hard to judge them when you're playing against a bunch of pillowcases.
I mean, it's true, but I mean, at which point do we truly start to acknowledge that Aaron Jones has taken his game to the next level? I mean, because if you look at that game, he made an ill catch out the backfield, downfield, jumping over. I mean, when do we start to acknowledge, like, he may be a top 5 back in this league? Like, he gets busy. I was thinking about all the backs in this league. I mean, and the way that I evaluate him is, can you stay on the field? I know they always rank Saquon high, but they're ranking him high on his talent, but his availability has slipped.
Yeah.
So I can't really put him there because he's not really available. Aaron Jones is available. Aaron Jones plays. He got hurt his rookie year, but then since then, he's been healthy. And since he's been healthy, he's been balling, and he's just been adding to his toolbox. So when do we start saying, like, oh, shit, Aaron Jones might be a top 5 back in this league?
All right, so I got 2 questions to add on to that. One, if Aaron Jones were on another team, would he still be as effective? Because having Aaron Rodgers on your team makes you, as a running back, kind of the last thing that everyone looks at.
Okay. Okay. So if we're saying that he needs an elite quarterback,
I don't know if he does or not.
Well, here's the thing. He's also an ill receiver out the backfield. So he'll still find a way to be effective regardless.
So that's the second thing that I was going to add on to that. As I was watching the Pat McAfee show earlier, and every Tuesday Aaron Rodgers comes on in the third hour for like 20 minutes, which is awesome. And he even said that on that catch to Aaron Jones that he threw it to the wrong shoulder accidentally. He said, I actually threw it to the wrong one, and he still made the adjustment and caught it. So he said that's what impressed me the most about his performance. And I was just like, that's why I like Aaron Rodgers being on there, because he's fully candid about what just happened. He doesn't talk about the game that's going to come, but he answers every question about what just happened, what he saw, what he was thinking. It's really insightful because it's fucking Aaron Rodgers, man. You're talking about like top 5 all time. Like, let's be realistic here.
Easy.
So, I didn't get to watch as much of this game as I wanted to, Tennessee and Jacksonville. But just like I said in week 1, Jacksonville's wide receiver room from front to bottom is really sneaky, and they're going to catch up on people who don't have a solid secondary all the way through, like 6 guys. And it's working because Uncle Rico can throw the football over that mountain over there.
And also, I think as of right now, I mean, I know it's still early, but a lot of people have overvalued Tennessee's defense. I know because they got Jadavian, and they got, and then they got the All Pro Byard at safety, but I mean, it's still early on, and they could gel. But right now, from what I've seen out of them, they've been getting pushed around. Like, they're not really getting a ton of pressure on the QB. Yeah, they're pretty decent on a run, but if the quarterback could stand back there and just have his choice of receiver, I mean, in a passing league, you're gonna get cooked.
Well, I believe that Tennessee's best defense is Derrick Henry. So that's why people are overvaluing them, because when you're going to play against Tennessee, especially last year's performance, they're going to run the ball and run the ball and run the ball in short passes and not overexpose Ryan Tannehill or ask him to do too much. And it's just going to eat up the clock, which is how they get you. And that's how they got through Baltimore. We're going to keep the ball out of Lamar's hands. And Baltimore, even when they were down, what their biggest threat is running, so they're still trying to run the ball. And even if you can make big plays in the running game, you are eating up the clock, and then they snuck up on them.
Yeah, you're shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah.
I will say, though, it looks like Corey Davis is trying to emerge. And I think maybe the best thing that happened to Tennessee is the other receiver getting hurt. Their number one receiver getting hurt. So Corey Davis made a nice ass touchdown catch, back end zone, and I've been seeing him, like, the first week he was, like, when the ball came his way, he was really getting after it, getting busy. So I mean, he's coming up on a contract year anyway. So and I know he's tired of hearing about his teammate stealing that shine from him. So I don't know.
So speaking on that teammate, who does AJ Brown remind you of? Because he's not. I can't. He's got a big frame, but he's not big, and he is not fast at all. But he just gets busy.
OJ McDuffie.
See, this is why we do this, because we know about football.
You know what I'm saying?
Who else but Cary was going to say OJ McDuffie? Wow. All right, so who the people who are watching this, that they would know, does he remind you of? I'll give you one, and it literally just popped into my mind because he kind of has the same frame. Sterling Sharp.
Right. Yeah. Another good one. Yeah.
He just puts up numbers, and
he finds ways to get open. He's not the fastest cat. He's strong as fuck. His hands are strong.
Yeah.
His hands are really strong. And he catches with his hands. And then once he gets the ball in his hands, he's a problem. He's looking for contact. He's not looking to go down. And he's not looking to go out of bounds. He's looking to score every single time. He has that mentality. And also the emergence of, I love Delaney Walker, but Delaney Walker was also just not reliable because he would always get hurt. And the first couple of years, it looked like Jonnu Smith might be like a bust, but Jonnu Smith gets busy.
Yeah, look at that. Look at the development. I love when players just take a huge leap.
Yeah, he has emerged. So I would say in the hierarchy, it'd be AJ, Jonnu, and Corey. But if he could be a consistent third that they can rely on, and Tannehill's playing well. And then you also have that beast, Henry. I could see them. It's their offense is going to be the one that's going to drive their defense.
That's exactly my thought, and that's why we have always agreed on football fundamentally before fandom, because you have to be able to separate your fandom from what's actually going on. I've been waiting to talk about this game. This is going to be a fun one. Dallas and Atlanta.
Oh shit.
Never underestimate Dan Quinn's ability to blow a football game, people.
You know, I picked Dallas, right? And so I picked them, even though Atlanta has firepower.
Woo! Calvin Ridley, everybody. Pick him up on your fantasy team. I told you in week 1. I actually told you in the kickoff special, pick up Calvin Ridley.
You can't get Calvin Ridley. Get Gage. Try to get Gage if you can. Get Russell Gage because he's still getting busy. Calvin Ridley is the number 1 in Atlanta. It's unofficial, but it's kind of official. He's the number 1 in Atlanta right now.
Well, he's a better route runner than Julio.
Right. I mean, Julio's just like a beat. Julio is the TO of the league. He's just a physical specimen who will just out-muscle you, out-jump you. But he will also give you drops because Russell Gage dropped that shit right in on his hands in the end zone, and he dropped it. Julio makes that catch. We're not talking about this game in this way. But it's amazing to me that Matthew Ice Cream, he's been one of those guys where you say, is he elite, or is it that he just has amazing talent around him? And all the years he's been in the league, I still can't answer that question. Yeah, he could throw for 400 yards. He could give you 4 touchdown passes. He'll give you a turnover or 2. But will you rely on him to finish the game out?
No.
Right. So, and then also the coaching staff. I mean, Shanahan is all the way on the West Coast, and y'all still fucking up?
All right, so let me ask you something, because every football player who has ever existed has had to play on special teams at some point in their career, right? So, and me being a 168-pound white guy in college, I played on all of the special teams, and you can believe that. I used to be able to. I had a knack.
Hands team.
Oh, you're definitely, and there is no way in the world that I would ever make that mistake. So my question is to you is, you saw how all of them backed off and waited and stood in a circle. What was said in the huddle? What is the preparation? Because that was a team-wide execution mistake.
So,
including Julio.
Correct. So the bullshit is, they were waiting for it to go either short or out of bounds. But as soon as that bitch is kicked, you can go get it. Dallas can't get it until 10 yards. You can go get it whenever. And being that you don't have people running to crush you like they did back in the day, which is why you didn't just run up and get it, because you would get your ass knocked out. They all looking at it. There is zero excuse why they all just looked at it to get away. 2 or 3 guys could have jumped on it.
All right, so here's my problem.
I would have had them running gassers, jumping on balls all day, all week.
Like porn stars, jumping on balls.
You running gassers and jumping on balls. You're going to get real intimate with these balls, my friend.
All right, so here's my issue with it. All right, so my freshman year in high school, right? I'm on the hands team, and we're up less than a score. You know, the scenario where late in the game where they have to onside kick, and literally the dumbest football player I have ever played with in my entire life. When they kicked the onside kick, it popped right to me, took it on the run, and took it back for a touchdown. And even he was a sophomore, even him, the dumbest football player of all time I have ever been on the field with, knew what to do in that scenario, and the coaches did not prepare. They only prepared us to recover an onside, not that you can take it and go, and he took off. So how the fuck are 5 professional athletes getting paid millions and coaches who are getting paid millions? How do they fuck that up? Dan Quinn's losing his job.
And not know. I mean, because Arthur Blank said, yeah, how do you not know that? The owner is like, yeah, how do you not know what to do in that situation? Yeah.
So do they overreact and fire the special teams coach to try to make it look like they did something about it?
Well, the way Dan Quinn was talking, he's trying to cover the special team coach's ass, which then puts even more fire under his ass. He's like trying to protect his guy because he was like, yeah, they were like trying to wait for it to go out of bounds or it to fall short. You don't wait for that shit to fall short. Get it.
Yo, Dan Quinn is
in a position to get fired.
Dan Quinn has been part of some of the most epic meltdowns in NFL history. 3 of them that I could think of.
The biggest comebacks, the biggest blunders of all time.
That is incredible. How in the world does he keep his job? That is amazing.
Like, there's just some coaches, head coaches, who started out as coordinators who should forever be coordinators. Steve Spagnuolo. I love Spags. Steve Spagnuolo should never be a head coach.
Rex Ryan.
Right. Never be a head. As a defensive coordinator, dope. Todd Bowles, a dope defensive coordinator. Head coach, maybe not.
Every single coach that's come out of underneath of the hoodie should have stayed as coordinators instead of being head coaches because all of them failed.
Right. Correct. I mean, there's only certain tree branches. There's only certain trees that sprout fruitful branches. Bill Parcells.
There's 2.
Was fruitful.
Parcells and Walsh. That's it.
Correct. That's it. Now, and so you can't expect a branch to then become a full-grown redwood.
Yo, so think about that for a second, because I never really thought about that. Even the modern day NFL, if you are a defensive-minded coach, then you probably came from the Parcells tree at some point or someone under them, right? And if you are an offensive-minded coach, then you came out of Walsh's camp. Isn't that incredible that those 2 coaches have basically shaped the offense and defense of the modern day NFL? And then you have to throw in Rich Rodriguez because he invented the zone read, and now the entire world runs his offense.
Yes, true.
Coach Rod at Salem TKO University with the zone read because he said we didn't have any athletes and I had to find some way to beat these people.
And that's amazing.
And now the whole world runs that offense.
Yeah, that's a beautiful mind right there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. That's incredible. So let's move on to the game that I almost I don't know what the spread was, but I definitely would have picked the Chargers to cover the spread because the Chiefs, as I said in our kickoff schedule, are not going undefeated. They're going to lose a couple games. And against the Chargers, one time was going to be one of my picks. And whenever I heard that Tyrod Taylor went down literally in pregame warm-ups, I wanted to switch my pick over because you and I both know in that moment right there where backup quarterback has to come in right before the game, rally time.
And they have no tape on him. They don't know this cat at all. And another thing is they don't realize how athletic this cat is. And his arm strength. And how mobile and how mobile he is in the pocket. And he's a risk take. I mean, like, he was that dude at Oregon, and he came from a great conference. Like, he's that dude.
All right.
Like, he didn't play at Duke.
All right, so let's talk about Cary because he is tough because that run where he got hit by the linebacker and the linebacker didn't get up.
He delivered the blow.
That lets you know that he's got to be like Andrew Luck size.
So, yeah, no, this cat is big. Not only is he big, he's strong and he's fast. So now when LBs see that, they're like, oh, okay, I have to approach him differently. I see what I have to do now. Because that dude, the LB who came to hit him, he was the one coming with force. And he was the one laid down. Homie he stepped up and was like, yo, you all right? You all right, Holmes?
How many times have you seen that from a quarterback? Cam Newton, Ben Roethlisberger has shook people off, but I've never seen him meet a linebacker and then just run them over, basically, and be like, yeah, whatever, homie.
Looks like Josh Allen is that. He moved down to the earth. He's shaking. He's mushing linebackers to the earth and shaking off D tackles like it ain't nothing.
Well, like I said in our kickoff special, Josh Allen is literally a tight end who plays quarterback. He is so big, it's retarded.
He's embarrassing dudes right now.
He's like the Jimmy Chitwood of the NFL, man. He was just in the country of Wyoming throwing a football over that mountain, carrying cows on his shoulders and shit like Bo Jackson. And
imagine Jared Lorenzen had a nutritionist. Like a nutritionist would have caught him just at the right time. He would have been that dude because Jared Lorenzen could throw it over 2 mountains. And,
the hefty lefty, baby.
Yeah. Rest in peace, my dude. But yeah. Some dudes are just built different and just like have crazy arm talent.
So what was apparent to me in this game is Kansas City's defense is not very good. They don't have to be, but they're not very good.
Right. And they're also missing like they're missing one of their starting corners, Rashad Breeland, who I always thought was like, borderline. He was like, but he was in that He was on that championship team, and it just gives them a cohesiveness. So you have someone in that spot right now who just wasn't a part of that. But the thing is that they're not getting pressure on the opposing QBs right now, and they're not really particularly fantastic at stopping the run. So if the playmakers like Honey Badger is not making the play, then the play's going to go for Herbert was standing back there just surveying the field. And then when he was like, oh, shit is broken down, taking off, they were not ready for him to scramble. And then they couldn't catch him. And then they weren't ready for his arm strength and he was fitting in passes where guys would just pass. It was like, if I'm even, I'm leaving. And he would drop the biscuit in the basket. So
very impressive debut.
So the Chargers are talking this hot shit that if Tyrod is healthy, he's going to start. Okay, that's great for the media. We know fucking different.
All right. Let me add on that. Do you know what they also said today? They said that as of right now, he is week to week, which is media coverage for we're going to let this kid play until he fucks up.
Right. Because let me tell you something. Tyrod just Wally pipped himself. Let me tell you who Tyrod Taylor is. Tyrod is Good Luck Chuck. Good Luck Chuck is the dude the chicks date right before they meet their husband. That's who Tyrod Taylor is. Tyrod Taylor has more starting quarterbacks in this league than I can remember. Because he was the one who ushered in Baker Mayfield. You know what I'm saying? So that's who Tyrod is. Good guy.
Josh Allen too, correct?
I think Josh Allen too. Yes, exactly. So good dude. He's been in the league 10 years, but he's the usherer. He's the usher. He's not the starter. He's just not your starter. That's it.
If I knew any Usher songs, I would totally sing right now, but I know none. But that is Tyrod Taylor's new name from now on. He is the Usher. Tickets, please.
Mm-hmm.
Here's your seat to the starting quarterback role.
That's it.
So, I think Patrick Mahomes for the first time experienced NFL football at the absolute highest and hardest level because you now have the target on your back, sir. And for the first time, I always watch his games because it's fun. He's fun to watch. His body language was off all day.
He was frustrated as fuck. And here's the thing: Joey Bosa, Melvin Ingram. Not only were they getting after him, they sacked him a couple times, but just beyond the sacks, they were hitting his ass. He was getting hit and hit and hit again. And he did not like that shit, and he was hating it. I mean, listen, I know you and I both have played on defenses where our offense wasn't that good, and we had to be on the field a tremendous amount of time. And that's not what the Chargers were. The Chargers were scoring. They were doing things, but that Chargers defense was so spent because they were coming after him so hard. They were like, we have to get this dude.
Oh shit! Look who decided to join in
All right.
the fold.
Both at the end of the game, he had to miss plays because he couldn't breathe. In the critical fourth quarter, when Kansas City finally tied the game up, eventually tied it up, Bosa wasn't even on the field to stop first, second, third down, because he was so gassed. But also, let me give a special shout out, and you know I hate kickers, but Harrison Butker kicking 3 58-yard field goals in a row.
Welcome our resident rapper, Nyce, who definitely lives on rapper time.
What up, man?
What's up, baby? I'm here, man. The wave, baby. You know, I'm surfing.
Yeah, we're not even going to try to catch you up on what you missed because that's retarded. Anyway, the only other two notes that I had from this game is that is literally the only way to stop Joey Bosa is to just have him gas himself out because he is unstoppable. And once again, the Chargers have the best uniforms in professional sports.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and the last thing I had is
Have to cramp up.
that's a big statement for the Chiefs, though, because when they played a terrible game, they still found a way to win against a good team. So
Sure did. And Mahomes can run. Like, people who don't think like Mahomes can run, but like low kick, Mahomes got to look. It's not like he got the best scoots, but he knows where the first down is, and he will get it.
Yeah.
Like he got that Elway in him like that.
Well, it helps that the DBs that are covering his wide receivers have to cover people for up to 80 yards, so their backs are always turned.
No
Yeah.
doubt.
All right, so the next game that I got to actually watch a little bit of, and he's making me watch him. The mighty midget himself, Mighty Mouse, can really fucking play football. So Nyce, I know since you're nice and you're you and you like everybody who's popping, I know you got a Kyler Murray jersey on order already.
Kyler Murray, he's a special talent, man. He's doing things that no one really anticipated he would do. Because everybody kept saying he was too short to play that position. And he's playing like he's 6'10" right now. Like he's over the defense right now. He's doing some unbelievable things, but also he has a lot of weapons to play with now. He got some weapons to play around with, so they're definitely a threat, you know.
Well, one weapon that everybody keeps forgetting to mention within that Cardinal structure is the offensive coordination, because that game plan is confusing the shit out of people. People are wide the fuck open.
I mean, Cliff Kingsbury is a genius, man. He's an offensive genius.
So I just thought about this, and I know it's going to sound funny, because the two of you will understand because you have watched enough football to even know this guy's career before the NFL. But Kyler Murray is the Black Doug Flutie.
Oh hell yeah, yeah.
Think of Boston College and then the early non-NFL days, what Doug Flutie was doing, and it's what it looks like to me. It's like watching Pistol Pete on the football field.
So Kevin Sumlin coached at my alma mater, U of H, go Cougs. But then he left us, bastard, to go to Texas A&M Aggies. His first recruit, Johnny Manziel, another short, fast dude with a live arm. And so then he recruited Kyler in the mold, who was like in the mold of Johnny. Now, as you've seen, Kyler Murray has been way better in the league as Johnny Manziel, but Kyler didn't stay at A&M because Kevin Sumlin didn't know what to really truly do with him because he really had an arm.
Yeah.
So then he went to Oklahoma, and then he won that Heisman. So now we're seeing Kyler do what people thought Johnny Manziel might be able to do in the league.
Yeah.
So that's a bad boy. It's a bad boy. Then you gave him D Hop, You
Yeah.
kidding me? You gave him D-Hop. He already has a legend in Larry Fitzgerald, and slept on Christian Kirk, who also played at Texas A&M. That dude got hands. That dude was the number one receiver at A&M, and then also Kenyon Drake, Alabama running back. I mean, yeah, protect Kyler Murray. You always gonna have a problematic offense on your hands. Always.
Well, this is the thing that when I was watching the overreaction Tuesdays this morning, that everybody kept mentioning, and I haven't watched enough Kyler Murray to know, but from watching him this year, they are correct. This is a football player that, even though he is my size, he never gets hit. No one ever hits this guy. I've never seen him actually take a hit.
Right.
Yeah, because he's pretty fast too. He's pretty fast, and his scramble ability is definitely up there.
Well, his
he knows
base.
how to use the pocket. He knows how to throw in the run. He got the tools.
And you have to remember, he was drafted to play professional baseball, so his sliding ability is top notch, and this is another reason he never takes hits.
Like the best slider in the league, Russell Wilson.
Yep.
Also, the thing about these quarterbacks that are that height, the thing that people don't realize is that they've always been that height. They've always excelled playing quarterback at that height. So that's all they know. So they played with guys bigger than them all the time and have always excelled. And not only is he fast, he's quick as hell. Like his foot, he has what we call sweet feet. So you may think you have him. You like, oh, I got him lined up. And he'll just do like a little quick juke. And he'll use quickness and they'll scoot that way, and you just can't touch him. And then when he sees he's about to get murdered, he gets down or he gets out of bounds. So, yeah, those.
You know who
like
who it would have been fun to an offense that would have been fun to watch him run would have been the greatest show on turf, because that entire offense excelled at never getting hit.
Especially Especially.
How many people do you know that had an actual Akeem jersey? I did. That was my favorite player in the league. He was my size. I was like, holy shit, he's my size. This is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, so Nyce. Let me ask you something. Washington's defense, is that the product, was the overhype a product of them playing in week 1 against an absolutely atrocious Eagles team? Because they got shredded.
Yeah, I mean, they really have their secondary is not that great. Their secondary and their linebacker, the front four is immaculate, but everything after that is just pretty much average. So if you really got like some really, really tough old linemen, you're gonna kill them.
Well, also, if your quarterback is running around like a little tiny, like a rabbit and whatnot, those 4 guys are going to get exhausted.
Exactly, and you're just gonna kill them. So that front four is that won't get it done for your defense. You need your secondary has to hold up what the front four is doing.
Word. Cary, I'm not real sure what Washington's defense really is, because they have played 2 wildly different teams, because never in my life, but I guess it would have had to have been Philly. They booed fucking Santa Claus. Did I ever think that a stadium that has no fans would boo their quarterback? But
They threw snowballs with rocks in them at Santa Claus. That's how Philly.
The virtual crowd booed, for Christ's sakes.
Of course they did. Yeah, they did. And they threw Geno's hoagies at him. Hell yeah, they did.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. On to a game that we all watched. It was the Great Matter Game of the Week, and it was a dope-ass fucking game. And it proves that the question that I had is, could New England's offense do this against a good team? Well, yes, it can, because they did it against a good team. That was a really good fucking game.
Yeah, that was actually the most enjoyable game on Sunday. It was really competitive. It was highly competitive. I was really shocked that the Patriots were able to hang. And Cam Newton is looking like the Cam Newton of old, and that's the problem. That's the problem.
Yes, Nyce. I was just like you, and I was like, oh shit, they really hang. It was like Oh, you did that? And Cam wasn't even phased. Russell would do some shit. He was like, oh, all right, watch this.
All right, yeah.
Yeah. And then it got to a point where I was like, then I started expecting. I was like, Cam about to make this play. Cam's passing, he was laser target focused.
Yeah,
Julian Edelman was so tired. He was like, man, I haven't been worked like this since Kent State. Like,
Well, Julian Edelman hasn't run a pass pattern past 7 yards in like the last 9 years of his career, and they're using him vertically.
yeah.
The only play that I had a problem with is the last play.
Yeah.
I get it. That play has worked, but you had to know that Seattle was going to sell out on that.
Yeah.
Like, you should have came up with a better play.
They
I
should
was
have
really
action.
come up with a better play because I was like, oh, New England about to win this.
Tebow jump pass.
Well, too often.
Tebow jump pass. It would have worked.
Or play action. Or play
Because
action.
if you saw the play earlier in that game where Cam faked like he was going to run, and then he just tossed it to the like third tight end or 15th fullback that they have, that was an easy touchdown. You could have done that because everyone was looking for Cam to run. If you done that, if you would have flared out 2 tight ends on either side, act like Cam was about to go up the gut, he would have had his pick. That would have been easy. That would have been an easy pitch, and you walk away Seattle with an unlikely victory.
Yeah, because they had Jamal playing the line of scrimmage. That was it right there. When Jamal came up, you should have known to do a play action, a jump pass, anything would have worked at that point.
Well, you know, with Jamal Adams' propensity to put his nose into the play and kind of give up on things behind him, that if you would have, here's what I would have done, Cary. I would have run the double flare, but I also would have had a fullback or the running back block first and run a delayed while everyone comes up, and then you can hit somebody is going to have. It's easy.
Yeah, it was supposed to be an easy play. I thought they had it. I really didn't think they were going to run.
All right, so do you?
I see Jamal come to the line of scrimmage, so I knew what they was about to do. So I was thinking like, all right, this is gonna be so easy.
All right, Cary, let me ask you, how far back did Bill Belichick raise back before he slapped Josh McDaniels in the face in the locker room after the game for calling that play? Was it a short slap, or did he really let him have it for that dumb shit?
He was like, how many times did it work in the game? 5, 7? Okay. He thought it was going to work 8. He flicked him.
Even better. So disrespectful.
Yeah, he flicked him. You know better.
Oh, he flicked him. He flicked him right on his bottom lip.
He flicked him. But I'll say, first of all, Jamal Adams is a fucking monster.
Oh, yeah. Just let him play. Just let him do whatever he wants to do.
But here's what's the dope shit. Cam Newton is making N'Keal Harry look like a player now.
That's the other notes that I was going to ask you, Cary, is Cam Newton is utilizing N'Keal Harry like Tom Brady never would, because if you go back and watch N'Keal Harry's Arizona State film, where he excelled at was making contested catches, and Tom Brady's never going to throw it to him when people are on him like that.
Right. Yeah. And also, not only that, like, he gave him confidence even last week when he fumbled out of bounds, and he was like, nah, N'Keal got that. And so now he's imbuing this young cat with confidence, like, oh, my quarterback got my back. And when you give a young player confidence, especially someone who's an MVP of the league and went to the Super Bowl, it's Cam Newton. He's like, oh, he believes in me. You're going to run through 15 brick walls in order to catch a ball for that dude. So, yeah, I mean, you get N'Keal Harry. That dude is a big dude. He can run. He can block. Like, he has the ability to make plays, and Cam is going to give him the ball and be like, he's going to throw it to him. He's like, okay, show us, young fella. But he's also going to lean on Edelman. Edelman can still get it done. 34 years old. He's some grades coming in, but he's like, all right.
All right, nice. So the question I have for you, because I know you're a fan of his, you were before he was even coming into the league, and one of the things that upset me is that they picked him, that he got picked after N'Keal Harry because he was on the board. So I should have known, and now I know the mental makeup of DK Metcalf. We should have known that he's going to, not only is he going to play against the best defensive back in football in a long time, since Revis essentially, he's also, I forgot that he was playing opposite against the wide receiver that the Patriots took in front of him. So that's like a Randy Moss moment where he's going to come out and be like, all right, I got you. And he did it. And he beasted. That motherfucking dude is a monster. And anyone who passed on him is some motherfucking bitches.
I said it the day the draft was there. Whoever takes him, they getting the monster. He can do it all. His hands, he got great hands. He's fast. He's huge. He's just a perfect wide receiver, man. And you know, the more reps you get, the worse it's gonna get for the league, man. He is gonna be he's gonna be unstoppable in a minute.
And
All right.
Everything that stop him is himself.
All right, so Cary, let me throw it to you. So it's once again, it's like what people have to understand is sometimes when a player ends up on a team and they don't perform and then people call them a bust, is sometimes you just didn't end up in a place that was a fit for you. And DK Metcalf has literally landed in a perfect spot where all he has to do is just be him. Here, go be big and run really deep because you have the best deep ball thrower maybe ever in the NFL. His accuracy on deep balls is completely off the fucking charts.
Man, let me tell you something about Russell Wilson. When he was at NC State, he was balling. The Major League Baseball was calling, so then he left NC State to go do a little minor league thing. He came back to NC State, but they said, "Nah, we good. We got this cat named Mike Glennon. We're gonna roll with this 6'5" dude right here." He was like, "Okay, I'm gonna go to Wisconsin."
Mike Glennon had an impressive Adam's apple.
Yeah. He said, "I'm not only gonna take him to the Rose Bowl." He played with a wide receiver named Altoon. He played with Altoon's son.
Yeah, it was Altoon Jr.
Altoon Jr. Who ran deep all the time, and he hit him deep all the time. Now, unfortunately, Altoon Jr. had too many concussions. Drafted by the Saints, couldn't make it. Russell could always do this. So Russell could see you could get open deep. Russell buys time. Russell will buy you enough time in the pocket to let you do what you do best, and then he will chunk that rock to you. And he will give you the confidence all the time. Because he's like, you're the guy who's going to make me look good and help this team win. So he's going to give it to you all the time. DK Metcalf is the closest thing that we've seen to T.O., like body-wise, like a monster who also has bunnies. Like he was doing practice catches. He was jumping over the crossbar.
His head was above the fucking crossbar, people.
I mean, doing LeBron James shit.
Yeah.
I mean, come on now.
All right, so Nyce. Let me ask you if you saw this small detail, because I did play wide receiver all through high school and then switched to corner on defense in college. So I saw both ends of this. All right, so what impressed me the most about DK Metcalf on that long touchdown? Not only, what is this? We're talking, his second year?
Yeah.
As a second-year receiver, he pulled a Randy Moss and used the slow hands by not putting his hands up. But he also, in the running of the route, slowed down at the last second and allowed Gilmore's impact to accelerate him to the last second of the ball. And you're talking about the reigning defensive player of the year, so he knew exactly what Gilmore was going to do and played it absolutely flawlessly. And then it's big and strong enough to run through the tackle for the touchdown anyway.
They got a hell of a wide receiver coach out there in Seattle. I don't know his name, but they got a hell of a, because you got coached up to do that shit. I mean, he's taking that raw talent, and he's clearly coachable because he's doing this. And it's like, you don't see second-year receivers do this. Maybe third, fourth-year receivers. You don't see second-year receivers doing that.
Yeah, it's a veteran move. It was a veteran move by him, and he worked really hard in the off season, as well as learning how to do these type of things with the wide receiver coach. So, like you said, yeah, shout out to that wide receiver coach. Cause he got him, he's tuning him up, and he knows that he has the physical tools. It's just now to put it into play.
All right, so Nyce. Let's keep it in the wide receiver room in Seattle. And you guys have known me for a long time, and I have espoused his abilities forever because I love the little guys who could play. But Tyler Lockett and Russell Wilson literally have a telekinetic connection with each other that is unmatched in the NFL. The only other one was Edelman and Brady, but Tyler Lockett, because of Russell Wilson's ability to just run around and make plays, in order to be on the same page with the quarterback, it's hard. It's really hard to run routes through defensive players and look and have your quarterback running around and then try to get to a spot to him. It's really difficult, but this little guy does it every fucking time.
Yeah, because remember, he has never been to any other team. He has only been to Seattle. He's only played with Russell Wilson. So they're like night and day. It's like, he's been there his whole career. And Russell is the guy that in the off season, he really works out with his receivers and gets to know them very well. So they're really connected at the head. So he don't really even have to look at them. It's like night and day. It's just like, all right, I know where you're gonna be at. I'm gonna get it to you, and he will be there. He trusts that he will be there. So it's just a long factor of they've been together so long. It's just been so long they've been together.
This shit is incredible, man. I loved watching Tyler Lockett at Kansas State. I am always an advocate for the small guy getting busy, and he is impressive. He is really impressive. And then you have, who I think at this point, at least through the first 2 weeks, the best player on the planet playing quarterback, because Russell Wilson is playing the game of football better than anybody else right now. And for some reason, Cary, let me ask you, because now they're saying that they're finally letting Russ cook, that they've been begging to let Russ cook, and they're letting him finally. What the fuck took them so long to allow? Why did they keep trying to have a run game-based offense with this guy?
Because they had this false narrative that he was a fucking game manager. I've been fighting people about this for years when they keep saying that Russ Wilson is a game manager. I was like, Russ Wilson is a game breaker. He's not a game manager. Are you saying he's the entire offense? You don't clearly know the game if you're calling him a game manager. That's just who he is. He's not Alex Smith.
As a side note, everybody, all quarterbacks are game managers. That's your fucking job.
Right, it's your job. But you can also then elevate to game breaker, and that's who he's been. Okay? So he's always been that shit. This is what I want to add. If the NFL allows Josh Gordon to come back, and he could keep his nose clean. And he's I know he's going to be in shape because that's what he stays in shape. Imagine a 3-receiver set with DK Metcalf, Josh Gordon, and Tyler Lockett. That is a nightmare for every defense in the league. I mean, how do you defend that?
All right, Nyce. Let me ask you something because we're forgetting, and I had to bring it up because we did talk about sweet feet. What about the sweet feet on that catch by David Moore? What in the fuck? How in the world did he get his right foot in?
I have no idea. It was amazing, man. It was an amazing play. I don't know. Man. Everybody gets that one little window of opportunity to look special, and he took advantage of it.
I think it's more of a product of and it's. I know people think it's corny and whatnot, but I think it's the product of play with Russ. You're going to make plays like that because he is just overwhelmingly positive to the point that it kind of annoys people to be around him. Like, yo, shut the fuck up sometimes, son.
Right. Yeah. But also, Russ will always give you an opportunity to succeed.
Yes.
He will always give you an opportunity. You know what I mean? And so then you know, so when the shit is coming your way, you're gonna do everything in your power to make the play. Period. Everything in make the play.
Like LeBron James.
Give it a shot.
Nice. Let me ask you a funny question because
that's all you could ask for.
Nyce got froze up. So Cary, I'll ask you until Nyce gets back, since we did make the funny comparison to Doug Flutie on the racial areas. Nyce, let me ask you this: Is Russell Wilson the black Tim Tebow? Tim Tebow? I knew you guys would like that one. I knew that.
Tim Tebow wish he was the white Russ Wilson.
There you go, and that's the best answer you could have possibly given me, because the only reason I said it is because they're both just overwhelmingly positive at all times. Rah rah rah, let's go guys.
That's what I was about to say. He's the black Tim Tebow with LeBron ability.
Yeah, this guy, I think he will find. All right, so this is the question I want to ask both of you. Cary, I'll throw it to you first. Do you think that if they had run the ball with beast mode, and Russell Wilson had not thrown that pick, and they go back to back, that Russell Wilson would be viewed at differently among like MVP voters and other people?
Not even a question.
Yeah, I think that one decision, they're looking at him like that's on him, and that was more the play call and actually the preparation by New England.
The thing of it is that if Beast Mode gets that touchdown, then Beast Mode is MVP.
Yes.
And if Russ gets the touchdown, Russ is going to be the MVP, and I think that's what Pete Carroll was thinking, and so that's what fucked him up. So Russ, yeah, he won the first MVP, but Beast Mode would have won that second MVP, and so then there would have been some people like, well, you know, whereas Eli won 2 MVPs, and so you're like, that's why Eli's going to be vaulted into the Hall of Fame. But Russ would have still, like, Russ, he did everything in that game to keep them in that game, and Beast Mode didn't get busy until the fourth quarter. He didn't get busy.
We know that because we know football. So Nyce, building on that, where do you think people would have him ranked at as far as in the tier of quarterbacks if they had won that won that Super Bowl? Because people like us will put him up in like the top 3 because we understand the level of football that he actually plays. But people who don't watch football like we do are going to put him probably somewhere with like 6 to 10 somewhere, because people like Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson have vaulted him instantly with what they've been able to do. Because look, Lamar Jackson wins an MVP in his second fucking year. Russell Wilson hasn't even gotten one MVP vote.
Yeah. And he should be always in conversation of the top 3.
All right, so one last thing on this game. Do you think that Future has paid the MVP voters to not vote for Russell Wilson?
Probably.
Future got a lot of money, man. He got a lot of money. He got money to blow.
Yeah, he got money to blow. He's probably doing that because I don't see any of the reason why he wouldn't be in the conversation. It's unbelievable.
All right, so the last thing I had on this game is I want somebody to make me a meme where they have Bane's mask on Bill Belichick because he looked like Bane with that black mask he had on, and I was laughing the entire fucking game. That shit had me dying.
Hey, well, at least he didn't get fined.
He did not. Oh, yo, so that's now we'll skip to that real quick. Nice. So if you're an owner of a team, right? You're like a trillionaire. I've done the math. It's $100,000 fine for the head coach not wearing a mask. So if I'm like the Chiefs owner, whoever's owning them, right, the Hunt family, won't you just pay that $1.6 million for the season for that 16 games up front and be like, Andy Reid, you don't have to wear that fogged up mask anymore. We got you home. It's only $1.6 million. I'm paying that up front. Fuck it.
I'm saying it. You bring me a Super Bowl.
No.
Why wouldn't I?
You got the math wrong. And I'm going to tell you why. It's $100,000 for the head coach, but it's $250,000 for the team.
Well, still.
So that's $50,000 per game.
That's $4 million.
$1,000 per game because you can't put your motherfucking mask on.
Well, that's only $4 million for the season, so you're now talking about $5.6 million to rid yourself of that annoyance.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've got players on your roster that you pay more than that aren't worth it.
That is also
that don't even touch the field and you're paying more than that.
All right, so we'll rewind time and go to the battle for the heart of Ohio. And not only was it a battle for the title of Ohio, it's a battle for the hearts and minds of football fans in Ohio, because Joey Bag of Donuts has clearly already passed Baker Mayfield up in Ohio as far as quarterbacks.
You mean Joey? You mean Joey Boy Band Burrow?
No, I think he means Joey Badass.
He looks like
Yo,
he is a badass.
Joe Burrow can really fucking play football, yo. He definitely belongs in the NFL. Wow, can he play? Could you imagine if the transfer portal didn't exist and he didn't get to leave Ohio State and go to LSU and actually play football? We wouldn't have never seen this guy play. He'd have been a cigar salesman or a car salesman at this point.
Yeah. His confidence is so. It's so. I mean, his confidence is through the roof. Like, you see him in the huddle, he looks like he's been there. He's been in the league for like 10, 15 years. Like,
do you realize it's been a couple of since he's even lost a game? It's been years since he's lost a game.
He said in the post-game interview that this is the first time he's ever lost 2 games in a row in his entire career.
His entire sporting career, he's never lost a back-to-back, and he was very upset. He was perturbed, as they say.
Yeah. He's like I said, his confidence is ridiculous. He believes every time he steps on that field, he's gonna win. That's how he takes it.
He's a captain as a rookie quarterback in this league.
All right, so
you know how rare that is?
All right, so Cary, let me ask you first, how quickly, now that they've got Captain Joe, how many years does it take for them to build an indoor practice facility?
Oh, listen, look, they've seen how the Browns fucked up with the Modells, and they like, look, we're not gonna make the same mistakes. What y'all need? What y'all need again? They're gonna make that shit happen really quick. But what I want to say is this: you're gonna build around this cat, right? First of all, that defense is fuck. I never seen it. I have seen defenses with that defense has no heart. Like, they had no heart. This cat was getting smacked all over the field, still brought you back down, still was scoring touchdowns, put you in a position to win that game, and you let the Brownies run down your throat. Run down your throat in like 5-6 plays, put you on your ass, and now your rookie quarterback with very little time to try to figure it out again. You couldn't, no stops at all. That defense is so sorry that this is going to be his story. I mean, the offense has issues, yes, but that defense is so sorry. They don't have pride. They had zero pride.
All right, Nyce. Let me ask you: do you think it's more of a product of that defense being heartless, or is it a product of what we discussed after Week 1's terrible loss? And I think the entire football watching community discussed was, if the Browns go with a run-heavy, play-action-based, moving pocket offense, they will dominate, and that's exactly what they did. Cary, the Bengals may have no heart, but the Browns also have Nick Chubbs and Kareem Hunt back there getting busy.
That's actually one of the 2 best tandems in the league, and the Browns need to really, really exploit that if they're gonna even have a chance of winning. They need to exploit that, because Baker's not gonna get it done for you. He's gonna manage the game for you, but he's not going to get it done. Those 2 can get it done. Those 2, that's a 2-headed monster, man. That combination of speed and strength and vision, great vision. They both got great vision. I mean, Kareem Hunt is a absolute beast. So and so is Nick Chubb. So I mean, they yeah, that's a real perfect 1-2
And
combo.
Chubb Silent he just gets it done.
All
He
right, so
is.
Cary, let me ask you because guys, I have said this has been my the verb that I have used to describe Baker Mayfield since college is hyper accurate because when he is on, he literally puts it on the thread in the uniform that he's aiming for, and that this was the first time in the NFL that I have seen him play like he was in college, where he is literally putting it on point to everybody.
This is true. I mean, but he was going against the Bengals defense, which is garbage. But but yes, but yeah, you could see what you could do when you like throwing around in the parking lot. And so maybe getting that confidence. I think the Bengals may be just the confidence booster for a lot of teams to propel them into their next week and maybe throughout their season. So we'll see how Baker plays in this next week. But Nyce is right, and you're right. Yes, they have that two-headed monster at running back that they have. If the game plan is focused on that, because their play action game was crazy, which is why Odell was able to get that one-on-one action, and then he was able to hit him. I mean, actually, Odell should have had 2 long touchdowns because he got pass interfered with, and it just wasn't called. He would have had 2 long touchdown passes. So it looks like Baker and Odell are starting to get in the mix together, and so that's a good thing to see. But as far as I want to refocus on the Bengals because I just want to say this. No, because quiet as kept, Joe Mixon, nobody really talks about him. He's like 3-4 yards in a cloud of dust. But if you look at his numbers over the past 2-3 seasons, he's like 1,400 scrimmage yards. He's been their guy. He's been the one. With Javon Bernard. So yeah, they lost their tight end, but this guy Sample looks like he might be something. But it's clear that AJ Green is not back yet because he had so many targets and he had 3 catches. He had so many targets. Tyler Boyd let down Joe Burrow because he dropped a clear touchdown pass. The Bengals actually really could have won this game. Should have won this game.
Yeah, they should have. They should have.
And ever since this cat got in the league, John Ross III, however much speed he has, not reliable, always hurt. Like, I'll be honest, I don't even know why he's in the NFL right now.
All right.
Because he hasn't contributed shit.
All right, so Nyce, let me ask you to add on to the Bungles and their woes, their current woes. So Joe Burrow is definitely a culture changer. So let me ask you 2 things about the culture that's about to change in Cincinnati. A, how quickly is AJ Green traded in the offseason for something younger and more assets because he clearly it's time to move on from him in that offense? And then B, do the Bengals come out with new uniform designs because it's a new regime?
Well, to answer I think they should do that move with AJ Green because clearly it just hasn't worked. AJ Green been there for too long. He's definitely a great talent, but I mean, clearly the injuries done slowed them down. It's time to move on. It's time to get and it's other teams that can use them and will use them, and you can get a lot of good pieces from that because Joe Burrow is the new era. So you need to start everything new right now. You need to get him new weapons, new guys that he can, get familiar with. AJ Green's time is up. To piggyback, John Ross III or whatever his name is, he just has speed. He has no football skill, so that's why he can't get separated. He's terrible. He's just terrible. And B, they need new uniforms.
All right, so going on with the new uniforms, what would you think when they come out with new uniforms if the Bengals have black helmets?
That would be dope. black with a little white with the white Bengals thing.
Or
on there.
have a tiger or something. Do something different.
Yeah.
Cary's
Better uniform. I got a better uniform. Straight up and down. Have Carol Baskin on the helmet. Go straight Tiger King. The whole because she's the true gangster. Murdered her other husband. Got away with murder. Like, do that. Like, that's what the Bengals need to do. They need to get away with murder.
How have the Bengals not taken it? See, the Bengals have a terrible front office. How have they not only do they have terrible facilities? How have they not taken advantage of the whole Tiger King phenomenon of 2020 and somehow tied that into the marketing?
Yeah, I mean, it goes to say, like you said.
First thing I would have done.
I would have had whoever it was that actually did the music for Joe Exotic made me a theme song for the season. I'd have had Carol Baskins come out and fucking do something that feed the effigy of the old Bengals ownership or whatever to a lion and to a tiger and kick off the season, man. But if they come out with new uniforms and they have black helmets, that shit'll be pretty fucking dope, man.
And also, can we protect the franchise? These motherfuckers were not. This is why Joe Burrow is captain. Joe Burrow was getting knocked upside his head, and he was getting up every single time, still making plays. These motherfuckers need to protect him.
All right, so Nyce. Let me ask you, who's a good fit for the Bengals to flip AJ Green for draft capital so they can start building the offensive line in front of this kid?
Which team?
Yeah, who's a good fit for AJ Green? Who's wide receiver needy right now?
A lot of teams. I would go with the Rams. I would say the Rams need one more. Cooper Kupp is pretty dope, but they need another one.
They just signed Robert Woods to like $65 million.
Yeah, Robert Woods is okay, but he's not it. That was a waste of money.
Robert is in the woods.
The Vikings can use him. That would make a beautiful trio. You know, the Eagles can use him.
Eagles.
The Eagles would need him.
Eagles.
There's a lot of teams out there. My Jets need him.
No, we're not talking about them yet.
I would say the Vikings, because honestly, the Rams, they got this young cat, Van Jefferson. He's next up. And they got Robert Woods and they got Cooper Kupp. They set it receiver. But the Vikings, intriguing.
Yeah.
They definitely need someone on the other side of Adam Thielen. You got Adam Thielen, and you got A.J. Green, and you got Dalvin Cook. Now you're doing something. So I would say the Vikings most definitely could go with that. Go that.
And they might get desperate enough to pull the trigger on that trade and give up more than you would expect. So if I'm the Bengals, I do that instantly.
The Vikings have a history.
Yes, they do. So now that we have a resident Giants fan in the building, let's talk about my most hated team in the history of the existence of humankind, the New York Giants and the Bears. And money-making Mitch now has 2 bricks in that duffel bag.
Yeah. He's
okay. So here's the thing. Anyone who is investing in Mitchell Trubisky's their stock, that stock market finna crash because he has terrible mechanics, and that shit is gonna catch up with him very quickly. The only reason why they converted that 4th down play is because his lineman caught the damn ball off of a ricochet. That aside, from what I've seen, David Montgomery, who was coming into his own, who was gashing the G's, is hurt now. Yep. So we're going to see the real Trubisky this upcoming week because more is going to be on him. And without that defense, they falter heavily.
All right, so Nyce, let me throw it to our resident optimist. Man, money making Mitch got 2 bricks in that bag now, Nyce.
Money making Mitch. Yeah, man. He, you know, like you said, he just looked good against, you know. Right now it's early. You know, teams are still feeling out teams. Week 2, he did some things, but as the season progresses and they really start to tighten up, and the quarterback really got to play football, he's not gonna make it. You know, so you got to enjoy this first 4 weeks right now. He got 2 more weeks. He gonna get 2 more bricks. He gonna get 2 more bricks in that duffel bag. But after that, it's gonna it's gonna be off with his head from there. You know.
All right, Cary. Let me ask you. Now that Saquon is now out for the season, because clearly a ligament injury is going to happen when the muscles around the ligament are the size of normal human beings' whole bodies. Now that he is out for the season, are the Giants the worst team in football?
No. They're still the Jets are still in the league, right?
Well, Nyce. Now that you're here, I can ask you because I asked Cary earlier. So, do you think that Roger Goodell should flip a coin, and then whichever one loses between the Giants and the Jets should have to go down to the XFL?
Oh man, oh man, nah, man. You know, it's the rebuilding process with the Jets, man. You know, like I said, it's the
Rebuild is
rebuilding.
rid of fucking Adam Gase. He's horrible.
The
Are you
worst.
kidding?
He's the worst coach ever. Right
Uh,
now.
Adam Gase is the worst head coach in professional sports, easily.
But he's an amazing psycho.
Yeah, he's psychotic.
Conference.
Yeah, he's psychotic. He's like he's looking for his glasses or something every time, like, because he's looking for the offense. He has no idea what he's doing. This guy has no idea what's going on the football field.
All right,
It's
so Nyce, let me throw you a couple quick questions about some games that I see on the scoreboard that you missed. What are your thoughts, real quick, because we already covered it, but I did want to ask you, what were your thoughts on the Falcons' absolute and total meltdown?
You know, that's gonna happen, man. The Falcons are known for that. Matty Ice, I don't know what's going on over there, man. Something is wrong. I mean, it happened in the Super Bowl at the biggest stage.
All right, so we have to start calling him Matty Water because he melts.
Yeah.
He is not
Yeah.
Matty Ice. He definitely melts.
He melts under pressure.
He's Matty Slush.
He's the Paul George of football. He's the
I call him
Paul
Matthew Ice Cream. I'm respectful. Matthew Ice Cream.
Nah, man, he's Matty Slush, man. He already melted. He's
Matthew Soft Serve.
Yeah.
he's that snow in New York. 10 minutes after it falls in all the cars and everyone walks over it.
And dogs hit the shit on it. Yeah, it's disgusting.
Man, 'cause I don't.
Here's a
I
tip.
don't understand.
Snow.
You have too many weapons to be this less confident in yourself, because that's all it really is at this point. When the pressure hits, it's really you folding because you have all the weapons that you need. You have 2 monsters at receiving. You know, you have a great running back. You know, I mean, I don't know what else you need, really. You know?
All right, so what do you think? What do you think was going through the Falcons players' minds, including Julio Jones? Everybody, we cannot discount that a seasoned veteran, all-pro player was on the field when it happened and around the ball. What are your thoughts? What was going through their head during the strangest onside kick in the history of the NFL?
Julio is probably thinking, "Damn, where do I go next?" He's probably trying to figure out where I'm headed, because this is clearly not working. I'm sitting here. The only thing great that's going on in Atlanta right now is the strip club. Other than that, ain't nothing going on. So I might as well leave
Magic
and
City.
get to you know, Magic City. That's the only thing going on out there for his team right now. So yeah, man. I mean, I feel bad. It's wasted talent, man. You know, Julio Jones deserves to be on a caliber team that competes for the Super Bowl at least every year.
All right, so I think this is like complete conjecture of football fantasy at the highest level. How dope would it be if Julio Jones ended up on the Patriots with the roster that they have now and his ability to run block?
Oh man, listen, Belichick, and Cam, Oh, just throw that up, Cam. Don't worry about it. He'll come down with it.
And you know Cam will, because Cam used to throw it up to those big, tall wide receivers in Carolina that were all bust.
Be nice. Don't get baited. You see how he just like transferred Julio to his team? Don't get baited. Don't get baited. Well, how come he didn't say, what if Julio went to the Jets? Would that really help Donald out? See? Don't do that, bro. Don't do that. He just put Julio right on his squad.
I did bait you on that, but let's be realistic about this for a second. There's no way in the world, and under no circumstances that exist in the history of football, that Julio would go to the Jets. So let's be realistic about that.
It could happen. It's a possibility. Anything can happen.
That is our resident Jets optimist, Nyce the future. So Nyce, the next game that we talked about, I want to get just your real quick notes on it was the Packers and Lions, and Aaron Jones getting busy. Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers, and the Lions suck.
Yeah, you know, the Lions got a lot of holes on their team that they need to fill. They have good pieces. They missing a couple of things. You know, getting rid of Darius Slay and all these guys was a big, huge mistake. It was a huge mistake, but you know, they not far off from being a good team. On the other side, Green Bay, I mean, come on. Aaron Rodgers has a point to prove. A lot of people don't understand. By them drafting that quarterback, that made him very angry. And getting Aaron Rodgers wound up, oh yeah, it's going to be a wild season. He's going to show people why these guys made a mistake in drafting this quarterback. We could use him to drafted another position.
We both know that Aaron Rodgers is on the short list of athletes of greatness that you don't piss off. Like, just don't like, it's like Mike and Tom Brady and LeBron. If you get him pissed off, Kobe, you know, people like this, they're just like, oh, why'd you make him mad? What did you do that for? Like,
yeah, because now he's so in tune and he's so into it. It's the most. This is the first year in a long time I've seen Aaron Rodgers so engaged in a game.
all right, so let me ask you, we're talking about the fantasy of wide receivers that could possibly move if the teams don't have a season that pans out properly. I wouldn't envision Julio going to Green Bay because they already had Devontae Adams, who is a big, giant, physical monster who can't be stopped. And then their other wide receivers are all pretty big themselves. But Odell ending up in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers' ability to put the ball anywhere and Odell's ability to catch it with one finger at any position would be football theater at the highest of levels.
Oh my God, that wouldn't even be fair. It wouldn't be fair. First of all, you're talking about if Odell goes over there, that's two of the top 5 best route runners at receivers in the league, because Devontae Adams is one of the best route runners in the league. He's not even that fast, but he's always wide open. His route running is so superb. The way how he makes quarterbacks turn, do a complete 360. Like when I saw that, I said, "Oh no!" They had to show that replay again. How disgusting his route running is. So with him and Odell together and Aaron Rodgers, oh man, that wouldn't be fair.
All right, so Cary, let me throw a good analogy to you that just came into my head. If Odell went to Green Bay, it would be the football equivalent of when Vince Carter ended up at the Nets with Jason Kidd and Richard Jefferson all on the same team, and he was just throwing it up at the rim with the utmost of accuracy. Here, I can throw it anywhere.
Easily. I mean, okay, so you know how a player has talent, and you're like, wow, this guy is like uber talented. If only he had a player around him. I'll give you one equivalent to that. When the real playoff Rondo, that's the real playoff thing.
when playoff Rondo went to New Orleans, when Unibrow was there, and those two hooked up, Anthony Davis's game went to another level because he exactly where to throw him the rock all the time. So now them hooking up in LA right now, that shit is synergy. So I mean, if Aaron Rodgers had a player like Odell and also Devontae, because when Devontae Adams was first in the league as rookie, he struggled early on, but then he came into his own, and now it's like once you have Aaron Rodgers is that dude. Like once you have his trust, and then you're gonna get looks. Not like Kirk Cousins. If he's like Kirk will just give it up to you, easily. Every night is prom night for Kirk Cousins. But with Aaron Rodgers, like who is so immaculately accurate, who can get him the deep ball any single time, like and Odell is so quick. See, that's the thing. Where Devontae Adams is big and strong and he runs immaculate routes, Odell is super quick and in and out of routes. And so just like it would just be so easy for Aaron.
Let me give you two scenarios of absolute football theater playing out. Not only is Odell so quick, when he makes his break at the moment of the peak of separation, the ball would be there every single time. And not only that, Aaron Rodgers' ability to throw the ball to any point, anywhere. Could you imagine like defenders having their back turned and him throwing it to Odell, who can make any catch one-handed in any position?
I'll be honest with you, it would be like, it would be like the second coming of Jerry Rice in this regard, how he turned a 5-yard slant into an 80-yard touchdown, which Odell did early in his career with Eli. You know what I'm saying? It would be the return of that, because Odell hasn't been able to do that since he's been on the Browns. Not at all. He's had to run deep. He's had to use his speed to run deep. And if he doesn't get the deep look, because Jarvis is the short guy. Jarvis runs all short patterns in Cleveland right now. But Odell is, I feel like Odell is best when Odell should model his game more like Jerry Rice. When he was with the G's, it was like Jerry Rice, because he would do the quick slants and this, and then he would just go. Yeah, they did send him deep, but his best patterns was when he was just like doing quick little outs, quick little slants, and then using his speed to like be pieced out.
Well, that again, you go full circle with that. It requires a quarterback who throws you open and who also leads you into an area where you can run, which Joe Montana and Steve Young, especially Steve Young, were excellent at. And if Odell Beckham is to maximize his gifts that have been given to him, he must take if I'm him, I'm going to Green Bay. You could pay me in cheese, because I'm going to end up in the Hall of Fame after doing that.
Absolutely, because you can use all of your athletic talents, and it'd be like all of it. You would and way faster than Jerry Rice could have ever hoped he could have been. He's way faster and he's quicker than Jerry Rice could have ever hoped he could have been. Yes, that's what I wouldn't want to run deep every single time. Give me those slants, son. You are quick enough and fast enough to do the rest yourself.
Yeah, he's getting wasted away by not having a quarterback who throws you into the correct area. So Nyce, let's move on to the third game that we talked about before you chimed in. And Uncle Rico can really play. Like I said in the kickoff special, the Jags wide receiver room is stacked from 1 through 4, and they are going to get busy. But the Titans did find a way to win because apparently nobody decided to cover Jonnu Smith.
I mean, Titans is just one of those greedy teams, you know what I'm saying? They're just one of those real greedy teams. They're never really fully out of it, because they got a lot of tough players. They just built tough. So, you got to limit mistakes when you're playing against the Titans, because that will bite you in the ass. And that's what was happening against the Jags, the Jags, they just need their defense has been ripped apart. So, it's not gonna be pretty easy to score on them because I mean a lot of their talent is missing on their defense. So, yeah, they just gonna play catch up with you, man. They just gonna go back and forth with you because they are loaded at the receiver position. So they're always gonna be in the game, but their defense, when it comes down to it, is gonna let them down every trip.
All right, so Cary, let me ask you something. Say that the Jags don't have a successful campaign and they end up with like a top 2, 3, 4 pick. Do they, in their lust to try to acquire Trevor Lawrence and keep him down south, do they move on from Gardner Minshew and let Uncle Rico go play somewhere else? Because that guy can play. I would build around him and those receivers because he can really play.
I was going to say that would be a mistake to do that.
100%.
You have a quarterback. Listen, you let go of all pro talent on multiple levels of your defense and also your offense. And you're still, are you kidding me? You're still in games but you won one? What?
Yep.
So
That means he can really play. It's him.
Yeah.
You saw that. Okay, so here's the thing. When what's his face went over to Seattle, and then Seattle drafted Russell Wilson. And they paid him $45 million.
Matt Flynn, thank you.
Matty Flynn. They paid $45 million to go to fucking Seattle to be the starter. Then you drafted Russell Wilson, and then preseason happened, and you were like, oh. Pete Carroll had the knowledge to be like, I'm gonna play the guy who gives us the best opportunity to win, not the one who played in game 16 when New England wasn't even playing anyone, and this guy scored 6 touchdowns. Like, you play the guy who helps you win the game. Gardner Minshew helps you win the game. Yes, Foles won a Super Bowl. That's great. That's awesome. Good for you. Minshew was the better quarterback on that team always. So build around that dude. And he established a relationship with Chark, their best receiver on that squad. Yes, they let go Leonard Fournette, but they're working out their running back situation. I think what they do, continue to build the line, and you have to replenish your defense. But they got that guy they got that corner CJ Henderson, who he playing. CJ Henderson is playing. So okay. Now you got a nice corner right there. Build your defense again, because you're Jacksonville. Jacksonville is that type of squad. They're gonna play, like, build that defense. Like, if I look at Jacksonville, since Jacksonville's inception, they've been a squad that I've looked at. You look at different teams different ways. Like, that's an offensive team. I've always looked at the 49ers as an offensive team. Jacksonville, since they've come into the league, I've looked at them as a defensive team.
That's because you didn't use them in Madden.
Yeah. So, and then whatever offense you get, Mark Brunell and, the
Freddie T. Everybody, Cary knows my favorite running back in NFL history, Fred Taylor.
Whatever the offense, what you get. But these are going to be gritty players, and it's going to be built off the defense. So that's how Jacksonville should be built, off the defense. You got a good corner, C.J. Henderson. Let him rock. Keep building that defense. You got a quarterback who's push that ball downfield. You got the receivers.
So let me ask you something before we move on, Nyce, to another game. I actually think it was a good move to let Leonard Fournette go, because if you have Uncle Rico and those 4 wide receivers, Leonard Fournette doesn't fit that offense anymore.
Yeah. I mean, that offense don't need anything right now. What they need to do is focus on the defense right now.
All right, so let's move on to the game that we all missed. And just to let you know, Nyce, because you were late, I did go 15-1 this week. We were all on fire this week, because I actually think this week was actually really easy, because if you understand that it is the preseason for these teams, then you have a little bit of a better understanding of how these first couple weeks are going to play out. But we all missed this game, every single one of us. The motherfucking Vikings suck, yo.
Oh my goodness. Kirk Cousins effect, man. Kirk Cousins is not a share of the basketball. I mean, of the football. I said basketball, pardon. He's not a good share of the football, man, and it cripples the talent around him. You know,
All right, so that is the worst possible description that you can have as a quarterback is you're not a good sharer of the football.
I literally say earlier, I said Kirk Cousins has tunnel vision. He only is one guy, and that's it.
That's it. He's always been that way. When he gets one person, he's only gonna throw that ball to that one person. He's not throwing that ball to anybody else. You would have to be literally wide open.
Tight end. You're not. Irv Smith should be ill right now. You're not developing a young wide receiver in Jefferson out of LSU.
Yep. I mean, come on, Justin Jefferson is a great wide receiver.
Hell yeah.
Excellent skills. You're not utilizing that because you're just deciding you want to throw 100 times to what's
Adam Thielen.
Yeah, you want to throw 1,000,000 balls to Adam Thielen, like it's not gonna work.
Yeah, I ain't feeling Adam Thielen because I had him on my fantasy team and he was a wash this week. No thanks to you. You're an asshole. So, Cary, let me ask you something. Do the Colts base their offense around Jonathan Taylor moving forward?
Hell fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Hell fuck yeah. Can I say that even louder? Hell fuck yeah. I think the best thing, even though it's fucked up, that happened to them is Marlon Mack getting hurt. Because now you get the tool, you get your special toy in the mix immediately. Jonathan Taylor is the most talented back that they have there, even with the veteran backs that they have there, period. And so now you get to play with your special tool right now, and then it makes Phillip Rivers even better because now, since there's such a threat of the run, and he can run and he can also catch open, even though they did lose another receiver, but in Paris Campbell. But I think T.Y. Hilton will actually show up this year. And I think the tight ends for Indy will show up this year.
No, they won't. Phillip Rivers is wash. He sucks. So
he is sucks. But Jonathan Taylor is the truth, and they have an offensive line. They have the best offensive line.
So let me ask you this, Nyce. Do the Colts actually have a better offense if they would go run based and heavy set with that offensive line and Jonathan Taylor and put Jacoby Briskets in and let Phillip Rivers go coach high school football?
Yeah, I think that would give them the best chance to win because Jonathan Taylor is a complete workhorse. He's a complete workhorse. I mean, even in college, he was getting like 25 touches a game. You know, I mean, this guy's an absolute workhorse, and that offensive line is the best in the NFL right now. So why not? You know, Phillip Rivers is old now, so it's time to move on. You know, it was a good experiment. I mean, they have him for what, a year? They signed him for a year or something like that.
Well, you know what? Speaking of time to move on, it's time to move on from talking about that dumbass game because the fucking Vikings put up 11 points against a terrible defense. So the Vikings suck. I wouldn't fuck with them on any fantasy level. And I want to read Captain Kurt's contract to see how they can weasel themselves out of this shit after year 3 because he is not the answer. So let's move on to what actually turned out to be a pretty good game and what seems to always happen with the Bills is Bills and Dolphins because the Dolphins for some reason are in every fucking game somehow and the Bills are for real now because Josh Allen's getting busy.
The Dolphins coaching staff, man, that coaching staff is amazing, man. The
head coach from Brooklyn, son.
Yeah, the things that they're able to do without a lot of talent is amazing, you know. And the Bills are for real. They're fully loaded. I mean, come on. They're loaded on every aspect of football right now. You know, you can put me back there for Christ's sake, and I'll produce to the Bills right now. They are loaded right now. So yeah,
Nah,
yeah, it
Nyce,
was
you be
exciting.
drinking too much, man. Come on, man. Let's be real with ourselves. Like,
I mean, come on, man. Their offensive line is stacked. So their quarterback is good. They got good running back. Their wide receiver core is good. Their defense is super stupid. I mean, what more you want? It's a complete football team.
all right, so Cary, let me ask you something. With the way that New England is playing now, do the Bills actually have what it takes to dethrone New England? Because honestly, Buffalo and New England playing against each other is going to be a really entertaining game because you're going to have two gigantic quarterbacks.
Right. So the clash is definitely going to happen. So here's the thing. It depends on how much confidence N'Keal Harry has in himself at this point in time. We know Edelman is doing what he does. What the game plan is going to be, because I'll tell you this. So what New England is doing, Buffalo is also doing. Josh Allen, we see he's mushing linebackers and he's shaking off defensive linemen. Cam Newton does that same thing. Josh Allen is now pushing the ball downfield, and he has receivers who can catch the ball downfield in Diggs. You know what I'm saying? It's who's going to do shit better. Okay, so now we look at defense. Buffalo actually has the edge on defense. So it's going to come down to game planning and then who executes the game plan. So now New England and Buffalo are like this. You know what I mean? Where it was like this, where you don't even see Buffalo before. But Buffalo was rising, and the head coach is he doesn't give a fuck. The head coach for Buffalo is like, I'll chew metal. And so and the players feed off that. So Buffalo coming hard.
I think Buffalo got it, man. I think they got it.
All right, so Nyce. That's definitely something that I'm definitely looking forward to as a 20-year resident of the AFC East. Of any game within the AFC East being relevant over the last 2 decades whatsoever. So Nyce. Now that we have. I still, for the life of me, can't figure out why you're a Jets fan, but we have our resident Jets fan in the building. Let me ask you about how the Jets are the worst team in football, because the 49ers lost at least 40% of their roster during the game, including Raheem Mostert, who, before getting hurt, had 8 carries for 92 yards and was getting busy on my fantasy team, and then he got fucking hurt. And so thanks to the Jets' sticky field, half of the Niners, and I had the Niners defense too because they're playing against the worst team in football. And look, Joey Bosa out for the year, Raheem Mostert out for weeks and weeks and weeks. Like, they had like 6 players get hurt, and still the Jets got trounced.
And out for the
That's
year.
it. That's what we do, son. Y'all come on our turf, we gonna hurt y'all. That's all we could do, son. I mean, listen. The Jets got way too much injury on this team. The head coach is terrible. The play calling he makes, I predicted before the play even been run. I can predict it. I mean, it's just a terrible thing that's going on to the Jets right now. They have a couple of pieces, but it's a lot of work.
No, they don't. You don't have any pieces. So Nyce, as a Jets fan, let me ask you first. No,
Marcus May is pretty good.
Who?
Marcus May is a good safety. Quinn Williams is a good player.
I love it when you say. I would love it when you name players that I've never heard of before. This is incredible. I love every second of it. So,
Sam Darnold is a good quarterback.
no, he's not. Cary, let me ask you. Do you think Clemson could beat the Jets?
Okay, so here's the thing. The only separation between Clemson and the Jets is age. The age difference. So, old motherfuckers like to hurt you. They like, I ain't letting this young motherfucker beat me. So you know what's gonna happen? It would be like the Jets playing San Francisco again. They trying to give them all ACL injuries. So that's what it would be. But if they let Clemson run free, it would be a tough situation.
All right, so Nyce, let me ask you another to add on to that. If all things are even and you do have old men unwilling to let the young men come through and they're popping ACLs and shit like that, do you think that even in that scenario that Adam Gase would still get out-coached by Dabo Swinney?
Oh yes, by far, by far. I mean, it's not even. I don't even know what Adam Gase is doing there. I don't even know how he became a coach. It's terrible. He's so terrible. Oh man, I can't even count the ways how terrible this guy is. And he keeps every press conference. He keeps talking about, oh, we got to turn up the tempo, and how did you know these things and you're not doing it when it comes game time? Like I don't. He's terrible.
Nyce, who's Nyce? Who's your GM?
Joe Douglas.
Who the fuck is Joe Douglas?
Joe Douglas is the one who built the championship Philadelphia Eagles. He put the Eagles together, and he put the Ravens together as well.
Well, what the? That's how bad Adam Gase is. That even Joe Douglas can't be effective. Wow,
Yes,
there's
yes.
another level
I'm gonna
of
tell you-
ineptitude.
Let me tell you
Yeah.
something about Dabo Swinney. Dabo Swinney turned someone who should have been either a checkout person at Walmart or an accountant into an NFL wide receiver in Hunter Renfrow.
Hunter.
And, yes,
Hunter
I mean,
Renfrow, Joe, at this age right now, hope to make it to the league.
this is how bad Adam Gase is, man. And
That-
the bad thing is, the owner keeps saying that he has a brilliant offensive mind. Like, I don't know what he's talking about.
All right, so Nyce. Let me ask you two questions. First, what's the score?
Right now
Yeah.
it's 43-57.
All right, word. And secondly, even though you are our eternal optimist, are the Jets the worst team in the NFL?
As of right now, they are.
See, that's how bad they really are. That even Nyce said that yes, they are. Cause
As of right now, they are, because they're not giving Sam Darnold anything to work with. This is why he's looking, and he still had a high player rating after this game.
Stop it. I'm so tired of USC quarterbacks of anyone expecting anything from a quarterback from USC.
Not John Madden. You said a player rate. This is not John Madden.
Like realistically, outside of Carson Palmer, has one USC quarterback had an effective professional football career?
But what
Correct.
I'm saying is he has nothing to work with. He has no offensive line. He has no receivers. We're getting
Yes,
receivers
Jamison
from the
Crowder.
practice. Jamison Crowder? Yeah, that's our number one option. Jamison Crowder.
Did you hear what you just said, Nyce?
No, I didn't say.
No, but did you hear the words that just came out of your mouth? The Jamison Crowder is your number one receiver. That is how bad it is.
That is how bad it is. Like, we have practice squad receivers starting on Sunday. That's nothing to work
Where
with.
Robbie Anderson has gone over 100 yards in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks. You know,
Where's-
it's terrible, man. It's terrible,
Carolina.
man. It's just bad. We have nobody to throw to. I mean, we were banking on Brashard Perriman to be our number one option.
Who has been hurt every single second. He's been
Perriman.
hurt. Brashard been hurt almost every single second he's been in the league.
All right, so Cary, let me ask you this question: what's the drug of choice that Adam Gase uses in his meetings with these owners, where he gets these jobs, and then he gets the tapes of them doing something funny, and then he keeps these jobs? Because you can see it in his face. That guy does drugs. You can see it in his eyes.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
he does K2. I say he does K2.
Yeah. No. So he's like MA all the way. So he's like,
Yeah, I think-
and then he's been everyone heron. they nodding
Yeah.
out. Every
Yeah.
every owner's is like fucking like this, and he's just like, yeah, right. And they're like, bro,
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
because he is the worst, man. I just don't get it. And he really comes to these press conferences and talk like he knows what's going on.
All right,
if
so
you
Nyce,
know what's going on,
Nyce, let me ask you this before we move on from the worst team in football, like an actual football question. As a Jets fan, knowing it's almost a guarantee that he's going to lose his job, so which coach are you as a Jets fan looking for as a replacement?
Well, I would have loved Cliff Kingsbury, but that's never gonna happen.
No, let's be realistic about it. Like, what coordinators out there, or which out-of-work coach, or which the Jets will probably do? Which coach gets fired this year that they're probably going to go side?
Yeah, man, and I hope not. I hope it's not Dan Quinn. I hope.
Oh, it's going to be Dan Quinn. Oh, you're right. Cary, what do you think about that?
I hope not. I really hope not.
It's going to be – I didn't even think about that. It's totally going to be Dan Quinn. That's right up their alley. He's got –
Set records for for now. Wait, the biggest comeback of all time. Now they're gonna set even larger biggest comeback of all time. Yeah, don't hire Dan Quinn, my dude. Don't do it. Don't.
Oh, that's right up their alley. They're like, seriously, like, all jokes aside. I
That
know
guy?
this is really funny, but that's what
Even this guy.
that's what the Jets would do. They would be like, oh, he has the Pete Carroll pedigree and he's got that Super Bowl pedigree. No, we lost a bunch of Super Bowl pedigree. Yo, Nyce. What's the over under on the odds on the Jets hiring Dan Quinn after the Falcons fire him?
It's gonna be pretty high, man. It's gonna be very, very high, because that's why I said it. Because I know the Jets would do.
All right, so let me pivot from them. As an actual Jets fan, which coach would you want? Who's out there, or instead of what's going to happen, who would you actually want that would fit Sam Darnold if that's who you guys are going to move forward with?
I would try to get the coach from Clemson.
I don't think Dabo's going to leave the college football though.
Yeah, I would wish he would. Man, that's a pretty tough question, because all the real offensive-minded head coaches is kind of like they're pretty much occupied right now. I mean, the McVays, all these guys is like, Cliff
You need
Kingsbury,
Jim
all these
Harbaugh.
guys.
You need a Jim Harbaugh. The whole fucking culture.
That might work. That might work for a couple years, but Jim Harbaugh, that marriage ends quickly. But that might work for a couple years.
Yeah, I wouldn't want Jim Harbaugh.
It ends quickly, but he infuses some shit in you quickly.
Yeah, he's always every quarterback that he's had outside of this last Michigan run. For some reason, he's not been able to get any quarterbacks at Michigan, but he's always done well with whichever team he's built, and whichever quarterback he's had, he's always been able to build a team up to their strengths. So he would. That's a good call. That's a good call.
Yeah.
But Nyce, would you take 3 years of Jim Harbaugh over another coach coming in and maybe lasting 10 years?
I'll take the 3 years of Harbaugh.
Yeah, I think the results might pay off in the long run.
Yeah, the results will pay off to give Sam Darnold some confidence, and it will be good for that 3 years, because Sam Darnold needs a good coach right now. He needs that. He needs an offensive-minded coach. He's not even letting him throw the ball past 20 yards.
Or here's the thing, maybe Sam Darnold needs to sit on the bench because Jim Harbaugh had Alex Smith, and then he recognized what Kaepernick did, and then he was like, Alex got hurt. Oh, well, we got Kaepernick now. Alex came back and he was like, oh, well, we got Kaepernick right now. They went to the Super Bowl.
Well, I hate Sam Darnold's throwing motion and his delivery, how the ball comes out of his hands. So, Cary, you definitely watch more college football than I do. What college football coach out there exists that might take the leap up to the NFL that would fit?
Well, here's the thing, and he would never leave. But Pat Fitzgerald out of Northwestern, I think he's built for the NFL.
Yeah, he
He's
certainly is.
like he's taken talent that has not supposed to perform as well as as well have, and has boosted them up. And he's still young. He's still a young guy, and he would be a great talent to be in the NFL. I think he would be great. Let's see who else is out there.
No, that's a good enough answer. Fuck that shit. We talk about the NFL, but that's a great answer. That was a good answer. That was a good.
Yeah.
Maybe the dude from Penn State, but I don't think he would leave Penn State.
I don't
Yeah.
think Penn State. I think he's in Franklin.
Yeah,
I don't
Franklin.
think
I think there's some coach out in like the Midwest or something, like Utah or out there that's it moved on from another program that was successful. He's like another Urban Meyer.
And I think Pat Fitzgerald is not just like betting on himself enough, but I think if he did, he would be an excellent coach.
What about that dude from Minnesota?
Ooh, yeah, he would be another one because he turned that program around very quickly.
Yeah, he could.
Yeah.
All right, so nice. Moving on to the next game. It's the Rams at Eagles. Are the Rams actually that good? Because I refuse to believe that somebody named Tyler Higbee can be that dominant in an NFL game. Or are the Eagles that terrible?
Say it again. I couldn't hear you.
I said, are the Rams really that good? Because I refuse to believe that anybody named Tyler Higbee can be that good, dominant in the NFL. Or are the Eagles really that bad? Because we're really going to talk about Carson Wentz after you answer this. So
Yeah, something's going on in that Eagles organization. I'm not understanding what's happening right now, but the Eagles are falling apart very fast, quickly. They don't look good. They don't look in sync. It's just not there for them. The Rams, they have a brilliant offensive-minded coach. You know, he's always gonna keep them in the game. Super Cup is that guy. He's a dope wide receiver. I definitely got to give it to him. Yeah, the Eagles are just terrible right now. They're falling apart right now.
all right, so Cary, let me ask you something. Do you think that Super Bowl was a one-shot wonder? It was just a like, it'll never happen again. That was just because they really look terrible right now.
So I'm going to give you 3 different words, all with periods, maybe exclamation marks after them. Hell, fuck, yeah. Also, you don't have the same quarterback who won that fucking Super Bowl with them. When you have your head coach who says Foles was coachable, but the starting quarterback that you have right now is not coachable because he's changing plays on the field. It's like a fucking movie. He's changing my plays. He's changing plays on your plays. It's like any given Sunday. It's like LL telling fucking Al Pacino that Jamie Foxx is changing goddamn plays on the field.
If I don't get my carries, I don't get my money.
I don't get my money. And so whatever fucking wide receiver that they drafted from wherever the fuck they drafted him from, I'm like, are you fucking serious with the receiver? Like they were trying to get a genie out of a bottle on that one. That was stupid. Carson Wentz is like not right now. First of all, he's been hurt. His growth, and he's not who everyone thought he was. The running game, they actually have good running backs. They do.
No, wait a minute, Cary. I think what the better way to put that is he's not who we knew he was anymore, because for about a year and a half, even before the first injury and then after the first injury, before he started getting injured perpetually, he was playing at the very top level of football.
That's what I'm saying. And so they are really trying to like hang on to that. So Philly fans are like, well, fuck it. If Nick Foles got us one, well, fucking this guy's gonna get us like 5. No, Philly, wrong, incorrect, as you always are. But here's the thing. here's the thing about it. They their defense. I mean, they do have a couple studs on there. You traded away your heart and soul in Malcolm Jenkins. That's done. Uh,
Yeah.
um, they're just not good. So is Tyler Higbee good? He's good. Is he 3 touchdowns a game good? Hell no. But the thing of it is that the quarterback and the head coach don't get along. The quarterback and the owner do get along. So that's a recipe for disaster. So one of them has to go, and it's going to be the head coach. So we're going to see the head coach go bye-bye. And the owner is going to double down on Carson Wentz, and this is what's going to happen. His franchise, Jeffrey Lurie's franchise, is going to continue to plummet down. If he keeps the head coach, then they may have some stabilization. That's not going to happen though, because the head coach and the quarterback, which you need that synergy, they don't get along. So Jeffrey Lurie's going to bet on Carson Wentz, and he's going to bet wrong.
All right, so
This-
Nyce, as our resident not yet's fan, if Doug Peterson exits Philadelphia, is that a good fit for the Jets?
Man, any coach right now is a good fit for the Jets. Adam Gase is terrible.
All right, so
terrible.
Nyce, let me ask you this: how many wins does it take to win the NFC East this year?
The NFC East, I would say like about 8.
You think it'll only what? It might be as low as 6.
I'll get a benefit. Yeah, it could be that low. No, I'll give it 8.
Well, the Eagles are terrible. They're terrible. The Giants are, now that Saquon's hurt, they're going to struggle all year. So you're looking at teams that are only going to beat each other, basically. And then the Cowboys, literally, and then Washington's just not. Come on, they're starting from ground zero. So you're looking at the Cowboys. The Cowboys could literally win the division with 6 wins.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. They can.
So if the Cowboys win the division with 6 wins, does Dak get $40 million a year?
Hell, fuck no. Hell. Jerry, like, no, hell no. Jerry's going, no. Jerry's never going to give this dude what he wants. You know who Jerry is? Jerry's that dude who, Dak is that, Dak is that bitch who wants Jerry to be his boyfriend, and Jerry's like, "Nah, baby, just not yet. Hold on. Look, me and my wife. He's the side bitch. Jerry's married. Dak is the side bitch. He's like, baby, I'm not gonna leave my wife just yet. But hold up. So Dak is forever gonna be the side bitch.
Well, the Huntin Hillbilly really loves Dak Prescott, and it makes me laugh because if Dak Prescott gets $40 billion a year, the Cowboys are going to suck perpetually. And we hate the Cowboys here. So let's move on to what turned out to be an interesting game somehow, even though the Broncos are now been hit with the injury bug hardcore. So if you're a betting man, and some people have asked me, who are we betting on next week? Well, the Broncos have to play the Buccaneers next week. So I would bet on the Bucs because the Broncos are going to be starting Jeff Driscoll at quarterback, and their number 1 wide receiver is also out. So against that Bucs defense. So I don't know what the spread's going to be, but I would hammer on the Bucs to cover it and their defense. If you're playing fantasy football, I would definitely be picking the Bucs because that's who I'm taking. But surprisingly, they still hung in that game, and that's got to come down to I don't even know what. Honestly, I don't even know how the hell they hung in that game against a really good Steelers team.
Yeah, the Steelers is one of those teams that like breeze through the regular season. They one of those guys that let's get enough wins so we can make it to the playoffs. They're just seasoned. Big Ben is a seasoned veteran, so it's like whatever. But when it comes down to it, he'll make a play or two. And Chase Claypool, I'm telling y'all now, he is a monster of a receiver. He is.
Well, at one point in your life, I forget who was playing there, but at one point in your life, you were a Notre Dame fan.
Yes, yes, indeed. I definitely follow Chase Claypool. I'm a huge fan of him. He's a dope receiver.
Nyce is a fan of everybody. If you guys forgot, his jersey collection is the largest in the history of mankind. I believe that Nyce literally has a jersey of every player who has ever played and is a fan of everyone.
And I'm not that nice.
And
I'm going to say it right now. Without Von Miller, this defense is different.
Oh, and I forgot, they don't have Von Miller, so look for Tampa Bay to blow them out.
One pass rusher, and he hasn't exhibited anywhere near Von Miller's skills, and so now you're relying on your defensive secondary, which, I mean, you got Simmons back there, and he's coming along nicely, but if you have no pass rush, you really hurt your secondary. So they're going to struggle also.
The only question I have, Nyce, let me ask you this, is are they playing in Tampa or in Denver?
It doesn't even matter.
Yes, it does, because that's the only thing that has bothered Tom Brady in his professional career is playing in Denver.
In Denver, the altitude, but it still doesn't. It's too many to overcome for Denver.
Well, I'm just looking at it on a betting stance, and I don't know what the line is, but if they're playing in Denver, the line might be tricky. But if they're playing in Tampa and you like to bet on football, hammer it.
Someone what the line is. Someone tell us what the line is. Have someone chime in with the line.
Well, once I get through these last couple games, I'm going to look real quick ahead to what we got ahead and just talk real quick about a couple games, and then we'll be done. But I don't know where the fuck Nyce went. He probably got some rapper shit to do.
Nyce just boogie. Okay.
Yeah, he got rapper shit to do. So, anyway, is there any game that we?
And I'll give you my honest answer, because if it's Driscoll or if it's Balake Bortles, I'm telling you right now, the line should be about 8.5, easily 9.5.
It'll probably be 9, and I would hammer it anyway. It's going to happen. So we only have two. We only got 2 games left to talk about, and then we can talk about what's going to happen real quick. The Ravens and Texans, it kind of went as to be expected. Deshaun Watson doesn't have enough weapons to utilize his talent, and the Ravens are exactly who we thought they are. So I don't really even want to talk about that game that much, because it just went exactly as planned. So what's to be expected? The Ravens are not. We don't even really need to talk about them until the postseason, because they're going to be in the postseason. So, and the Texans are run by the worst.
They did lose a corner.
But the Texans are also run by the worst head coach / GM.
Which need to understand, not every head coach needs to also be a GM. There's only the Hoodie can do it. The Walrus can do it. In KC, but not every head coach also needs to be the GM. Because
he's playing weird science over there, man. He's playing a game called weird science. Because he's just doing all kind of weird scientific things and thinking.
I think he's tried to apply analytics and things like that into football, and then that shit is out the door. So let's go on to the last game, and a couple of us did pick it correctly, and Nyce was not one of them, because once Michael Thomas was not in the game, you kind of should have just known that Drew Brees' arm is dead. It's over for him, and he should just go. This is his last year. He's not going to play after this year. You can already see it. We're in week 2, and his arm looks spent already.
Done. He's done after this year. He has a contract with NBC. He's good.
The Raiders. Let's talk about the Raiders, though, because they're worthy of talking about at this point, because they are 2-0, and Josh Jacobs is the real deal. And Derek Carr can play football. It's just I don't know how much John Gruden wants Derek Carr there.
Yeah, he really doesn't. He's too strung up on Marcus Mariota. and he's just trying to get a reason to really put him in. But
All right, like, wait a minute. Let me. This is one of those good moments where, as friends, I get to chime in. You don't get to say Marcus Mariota's name like that because when he was coming out in the draft, you wanted the Jets to take Marcus Mariota. So I don't want to hear that shit. You don't get to do that. You don't get to do. I know you too well. You don't get to do that dumb shit. You don't get to say his name like that. Yeah, he's trash anyway. He's trash anyway.
He's trash. So I don't know what John Gruden's bromance is with Marcus Mariota, but he's in love with this guy. He's been in love with him since he came into the league, and that's why he got him on the team. But for some reason, he loves this guy. And he's just waiting for Derek Carr to just really mess up one good time. And Derek Carr knows that. That's why he's playing exceptionally well right now. Because he knows that his spot can be taken any minute. So he's doing what he's supposed to do. Jacobs is a monster, by the way. Complete monster. My guy Henry Ruggs III, that's my guy right there.
Oh, everybody's your guy. I heard you say Henry Ruggs IV is your guy. He don't even exist yet.
Henry Ruggs III is my guy. I like him. They got a couple of weapons, man. I mean, Nelson Aguilar is their third.
No. That's it. You don't get to say his name. You don't get to say his name. No.
I mean, you know, he's not a practice squad receiver.
Yes, you're right. He's not. He's not even good enough to be a practice squad receiver. Every time I hear his name, I only think of the producer Aguilar. That's all I ever think of. So, Cary, let me ask you about this. We both know that getting rid of Derek Carr would be a huge mistake, but when they do get rid of him, because, come on, this is the Raiders, where do you think he lands?
Minnesota.
Oh, see, this is why you got to talk to other people. That's a good call.
Yeah, I would say the same.
If the Vikings can get out underneath the Kirk Cousins contract.
They can get, or hot take, Philly.
Oh, see? Hold on, let Nyce add to that because you are a Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is your guy. So,
no, he's not. He's not. He is definitely. I don't know what Philly was thinking when they picked that guy up, but more power to them. We'll see if he even gets on the field. But Derek Carr would be a beautiful fit with the Vikings.
What about do the Saints really want to keep Taysom Hill as the starter because it's over for Drew Brees?
Oh yes, there you go. The Saints as well. That's another great landing spot for.
They committed to Taysom Hill, and then they brought in Jameis. They committed to Taysom Hill. That's the thing. They committed to him.
Yeah, but did you hear the second thing that you said after that?
And then they also brought in Crab Legs.
Famous Jameis.
Famous Jameis.
That's Nyce's guy. That's Nyce's guy. He loved Jameis. That's another quarterback you wanted the Jets to get whenever he was coming out because you want the Jets to get everybody when they're coming out.
I'm just saying they brought in famous Jameis Crab Legs. If he just did like a seafood shop, Jameis Winston would blow the fuck up. Just do famous Jameis Crab Legs and just that shit. I would go.
Yo, imagine if you were I
know he's gonna get the best crab legs in the country.
But Cary, let me ask you. Imagine if he let you steal a crab leg on your way out. That was like part of the.
I would go. Listen, I would support his famous Jameis Crab Leg franchise. I would. I'm not even gonna lie.
I'm allergic.
Crab leg country.
Yo, I'm allergic to seafood, and I'm going to famous Jameis's. I'm with it.
Baby Jameis, I mean, that's the best thing he can do at this point in his career. Yeah, he's terrible.
All right, so now that week 2 was over with, and we're still on here because it's football season. Let me see what's happening in week 3. Miami at Jacksonville. Who fucking cares? Chicago at Atlanta. Who cares? Atlanta sucks. It's Mitchell. Money making Mitch is about to get three bricks in that duffel bag though.
He's good for 4 bricks in that duffel bag.
He's getting 3. He's getting 3. We got a lot of bad matchups this week. We got Washington at Cleveland. Cleveland, look for Cleveland to get that W. Tennessee at Minnesota. I would hammer on Tennessee at that one because the Vikings fucking suck.
Yeah.
Oh, we do have a good one at 1:00 though. The Raiders at New England.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah, that one should be fun. I don't know how to bet on that one because I don't know what the Raiders actually are. And we know, you know what's funny? Cary, you'll know this because I have talked ad nauseum about the Patriots, whether you want to hear it or not. The Patriots traditionally are a team that you don't know who they are until like week 12. And I feel like through week 2, we know exactly who the Patriots are already.
Yeah, I saw Cam play. I would take New England all the way. Like the way I saw that team and the way they moving in that direction, offensively at least. Yeah, I would take that. I would take New England.
Yeah, I agree. I also agree. Cam Newton is back and he's playing the way he played when he won the MVP.
Yo, does anyone know how many fans are allowed to be at the New England game? Because the fans are starting to allow a certain number of fans in stadiums, so fans are going to start to become a factor again.
Yeah.
And
I don't know that.
yeah, New England, Foxborough's not playing in Foxborough is not going to be an issue right now. So that's going to be an entertaining game to watch. We got the Niners, whatever's left of the Niners roster against the Giants. Oh my God, that's a terrible football game. Jesus Christ.
That's going to be very boring. Very, very low scoring.
God, that one sucks. Then we got the Bengals at the Eagles, and Joey Bag of Donuts might get his first bag of donuts.
Yeah, Joey Badass. Joey Badass is coming out to win this one.
I'm going Bengalis on this. I'm going Carol Baskins all the way on this.
Yeah, I would look at. I want to see what the betting line is on that one to see, because it is at Philly, and you know the home team always gets at least 3 points.
Right.
Because
if we doing like bet line, that's a different thing. But if we going straight up, who's going to win? I feel like straight up on the win, I'm going Carol Baskins on.
Yeah, I feel like Joey Burrow will win that game by himself.
Because he's a beat.
All right, so Nyce. The next game we got will be fun to watch because it's Deshaun Watson, everybody. Oh, that boy. Oh, that boy good. It's Houston at Pittsburgh, so it'll be Deshaun Watson running around against Pittsburgh's defense, so that at least will be fun.
Yeah, it'll be fun, but...
Pittsburgh's going to beat them. Well, I'm not worried about that. I'm just looking for any games that are even entertaining because this schedule sucks in week 3. Then the next game on the schedule, Jesus Christ, yo. The Jets at Indy. What the fuck is going on in week 3?
Oh, man, the Jets at Indy. Holy crap.
Indy's going to win that one. Like, who?
They could go 0-16. They're not yet.
Yo, the tickets for that game are only $37. Now, mind you, tickets are in extremely high demand because they're limited, and
that's expensive.
They're only $30.
See that shit?
That should be $5.
Yo, there's other games that are like $200, $300, and that one's $37.
The tickets for that should be $5 in a bag of loud.
Nah.
The tickets are, if you show up, they give you $5 in a bag of loud.
Right. Give me some edibles on that. On top of that.
Something. Jesus Christ, this is a sucky week of football. And then we got the Panthers minus Christian McCaffrey at the Chargers. So look for the Chargers to win that one because Care Bear can play.
Yeah.
Herbert, who the G's were looking at and who I wanted the G's to get. and he showed why I wanted the Chiefs again. And Justin Herbert is the truth.
Yeah.
He's real deal. Justin Herbert. Look,
Oregon Ducks, baby.
No, but you know what? You know what's funny about this one, Cary, is Justin Herbert is not Nyce's guy.
Yeah. He's not my guy. I mean, he's a very good quarterback. He's just not my guy.
Yeah, he's not. He never was his guy.
he's just not your guy.
He's not his guy. But yo, he has proven. Listen, I didn't know, and the question coming out of Oregon is, if you come out of Oregon's system, is can you play quarterback in the NFL? And the answer has always been no, but he can.
He can.
Oh no, I watched a lot of Oregon games. He can actually play. He's a real good quarterback.
But now look at this. Now that NFL teams are going to have tape on him, now let's see what he does.
True. So
then now let's see what he does.
Then we got the Bucks at Denver, which I'm going to watch because of Tom Brady. But I look for the Bucks to absolutely destroy Jeff Driscoll. But look for Tom. If you do fantasy, I would not expect Tom Brady to have a big day because he never does at Denver.
I would look for Fournette to have a humongous day.
Yeah, I would look for the ground game to get really busy because Denver does suck. And then Jesus Christ, the games all suck this week. Detroit at Arizona. Arizona's going to blow them out. And then we actually have what is.
Well, hold up. Galladay is coming back for Detroit. And Detroit has this funny fucking weird thing that they do, that they are always in games that they shouldn't be in. So I expect Detroit, Arizona to be a lot closer than what people expect.
Yeah, no, Detroit has this funny thing where they always do where they lose. It happens all the time with them. And then the games actually it's going to be the last couple games are actually kind of good, except for the fact that Michael Thomas isn't playing. That kind of hampers New Orleans a little bit. But Dallas at Seattle will be a good game to watch.
Oh yes, I'm definitely watching that. My second favorite team, Seattle. I'm putting it on paper.
Nyce only has 32 favorite teams in the NFL, so.
My second favorite team in the NFL, Seattle. They're gonna beat the boys. I'm gonna be happy. Jamal Adams, everybody.
Yo, it's funny. It's fun. Nice. I mean, Cary, it's funny with these two quarterbacks playing against each other because you have in Russell Wilson what Jerry Jones wants Dak Prescott to be.
Yes, absolutely. That's why he won't pay him. So Jerry Jones is literally telling Dak Prescott, get your money from Oikos Yogurt. You ain't gonna get it from me, motherfucker.
Yo, CD Lamb, speaking of Dallas, CD Lamb, yeah, he can play.
Yeah, he can play.
I knew he was legit. When they got him, I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, that's
because Gallup is like for me, it's like Alvin Harper, whereas CD Lamb, you know what I mean? And you had Michael Irvin, you had Alvin Harper, where it's like, you had Michael Irvin, and Alvin Harper was like, whatever he can give you. That's what Michael Gallup is. But CD Lamb is legit. Like CD Lamb is the next number one.
Yeah, all right, so the Sunday night game, Nyce, is what would have been on paper at the beginning of the season a marquee matchup, but right now it looks like it might be a wash. I'm not real sure what the line is, but straight up, this one's pretty easy. It's Green Bay at New Orleans. Aaron Rodgers is on another planet right now, and Drew Brees is one leg into the retirement home, so it's that one's pretty easy. And then finally, we have to wait all the way until Monday to get some fucking real football. Heavyweight fight. Chiefs at Ravens. Woo!
Wait. Oh, break out the belt.
Hot take. I think
break out the belt.
Their first loss. I think this is where the Chiefs get their first loss.
Yeah, this is a chess match right here. This is to see this is for a little bit of bragging rights early, you know, and it's gonna be a good one because Mahomes and Jackson, man, those two are phenomenal quarterbacks, man, and they kind of really highly competitive. So it's gonna be a great one. This is gonna be that one right here.
So, Cary, speaking about Patrick Mahomes, is there any other quarterback who has ever existed who can make the throw that he just completed to Tyreek Hill last week?
Nope.
Where he jumped in the air and threw across his body 56 yards and put it on the money?
Nope.
Nope.
Nope. And if that quarterback exists, then they're in the penal system, or in the projects, or they just never made it out. They are Earl the GOAT, man the GOAT, and that no one ever know. No one, only the hood has seen them.
Yo, Nyce, so you know what's funny about that throw is, as an absolute football head, which all of us are, to me, that is the most impressive throw that I have ever seen him make, because
Jumping up in the air,
getting hit,
double covered the cheetah. The cheetah caught that shit, rolled over immediately, and then dove into the end zone.
Nice. So think about that for a second.
NFL history.
Nice. Think about it.
In NFL, if you know how football works, that's one of the illest plays in NFL history.
Nice. So think about this for a second. You're talking about the fastest player in the NFL, and he led him fully. He did not have to slow down. He actually had to dive a half of a dive forward to catch him, which means it was an absolute perfect throw over double coverage, getting hit in the air across his body.
I mean, it was just so amazing, man. That's why you got that belt. He is the champ. He is the champ right now, and it's time for this is a preview for Lamar Jackson to see if he can take that belt from him.
All right, so, Cary, let me ask you this. Do either of the teams hold anything back for this, for the eventual playoff matchup, which will happen? Or is there's too much on the line? This is like you just go.
I think each one of them hold one gadget play in their pocket.
Well, you know Kansas City will definitely have gadget plays hidden.
But I think this early in the season, with the Ravens offense being so run heavy, they actually take this because it's easier to run right now. So I think that this is the week KC gets upset.
I don't even actually, if you're a football head, I don't think any football head is going to consider this an upset. We're all going to pick this.
Yeah.
Especially after San Diego showed an effective defensive game plan against Patrick Mahomes, at least how to frustrate him. So, on the tails of Patrick Mahomes getting beat up more than he ever has in a game before and having to travel to Baltimore, who is going to be ready because the other Harbaugh brother could coach some fucking football. So, I'm actually looking for Baltimore to win that game. I don't do the whole betting line thing, but these two teams are going to see each other again in the playoffs. It's a foregone conclusion.
Hell yeah.
What was more impressive to you, that throw, or I mean, I know that throw because I've never seen anybody make that throw, but did you see the throw with the 2-point conversion that they showed in the high?
Oh, which also no one talks about. For him to point the ball down as he's running in the opposite direction, to throw it that way in double, triple coverage.
Yeah, he's doing.
And also the catch that McCole Hardman made. Listen, that shit. They have skill. These motherfuckers have skills.
Nice. It's rare that you have seen that a player comes around and does things that we've never seen before. It's like and now it's going to change because the kids watching him play are going to go practice these things, and whenever they grow up, they're going to do it now. It's just like Steph Curry. Pat Mahomes is the Steph Curry of the NFL.
That's exactly what I was just about to say. You took the words right out of my mouth. He is the Steph Curry. He looks like him. I think it is Steph Curry.
Oh, shit. That's conspiracy theory.
I think Steph Curry is putting on the hair and going out there.
Steph Curry stepped out on his wife?
Oh, I mean those there's long road trips out there,
I
man.
already got basketball down. Maybe I gotta get a football player.
Yeah, man, Steph. I mean, he is the Steph Curry of football, man. He's doing things, and you're gonna start seeing a lot of kids being just like Pat Mahomes. Every kid is gonna want to be Pat Mahomes. So,
Well,
yeah, man.
everybody wants to be like Mike. Now everybody wants to be like Braun. Now everybody, it's cyclical. It's like, who is running your era? You look at running your era. That's who you want to be like. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, it's funny because I can't remember an era in NFL football where the old guard of quarterbacks got ushered out so quickly. Like that generation of, all the way from Peyton through Breeze, Brady, and everyone, even Aaron Rodgers, we're still holding on to a couple of them, but even though they're still playing, they've been pushed to the back of everyone's mind, and it's like now Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson.
Well, here's the thing, is that pocket passing, and so then like the Michael Vicks, the Randall Cunninghams were the outliers. Randall Cunningham was an outlier. Randall Cunningham, who could throw the ball fucking 80 yards, punt the ball 90 yards, but also,
statistically proven.
Right. He was like, it was like, nah, that's not the way you play quarterback. And this was in the 80s, Randall Cunningham. And then he made a resurgence with the Vikings and almost should have went to the Super Bowl, but that's a whole nother thing. But then that powered up Michael Vicks, the Michael Vicks. And then Michael Vick was like the thing. And Donovan McNabb's, the guys who could run and do this thing. Donovan McNabb, 8 NFC championship games, went to a Super Bowl. But then Michael Vick, who was like a video game at the position, you know what I'm saying? And so now you have Lamar Jackson, and it's like, who was your inspiration? And then they named these guys like, oh, nah, it was like this guy and that guy. And because I ran, and I mean, I had an arm, I wasn't the most accurate, but these guys who were told that they couldn't play quarterback before, then got encouraged, like, oh, I can play quarterback. I could do both. I could both be this and that, combining these skills. Now you have these guys, and it's just not going to be. What I'm saying is this: it's just not going to be black dudes who are doing this. There's going to be white dudes. Look at Christian McCaffrey. His father was a 6'5" wide receiver who wasn't the fastest dude, but this dude just knew how to run routes and knew how to get open, and he played for the G's, and I wanted him to be on the G's forever, but then he went to Denver, which was a better move, and then he won chips, even though he had multiple concussions, but he was a tough guy.
That was Nyce's guy, Ed McCaffrey.
Yeah. So now,
Easy Ed.
Christian McCaffrey is going to show that these white running backs don't have to be Tommy Vardell. They don't have to be, the one who was on Cleveland, like these big hulking running
Peyton
backs.
Hillis.
Peyton Hillis.
They could be quick and fast as fuck and play running back. Just like Jason Sehorn for the G's was the last white cornerback in the NFL. Like, you will see, things happen again. Like,
No. I as our resident white guy, I will interject on that one. We are not going to see another white corner. It's not going to happen. All white players who are quick play slot. They play slot receiver.
Back to running back again. You will see another Christian McCaffrey. Like there will be another young, fast, swift, quick white running back again. That you don't, because you saw Tommy Vardell, you saw Peyton Hillis, and you're like, well, I gotta be big in order to make it. No, there were other great white running backs back in the day who had speed and quickness and all that. But when blacks infused into when we finally were allowed to play, we took over certain positions, and it was like, that's the position, and now you get bounced out. you're gonna see another Christian McCaffrey again. You're gonna see another fucking I think there will be another white.
Listen, you know what? You want to know why there won't be another Jason Sehorn?
You know any white corners out there who have speed and quickness? Fucking tell them to get on. Because Jason Sehorn was amazing, but he was even more amazing because he was the white corner.
All right, so Nyce. I think you'll agree with me on this one. The reason that there'll never be another Jason Sehorn is because in order to play corner in the NFL, you must have short quickness speed, which there are a ton of white guys who have short quickness speed. But in order to play corner in the NFL, you must also possess the ability to run with wide receivers who are running low 4.3s, which all of these Julian Edelmans and Nick Swisher, what's that Swisher kid that was a punt returner, and all these little white dudes that are quick, Cole Beasley and all that, they don't have 4.3 straight line speed, so it's impossible for them to be corners. So then you look at white wide receivers like Jordy Nelson and Adam Thielen who can fly. They're never going to play corner. They're like 6'3" and can run. Instant wide receivers. So Jason Sehorn was the last one.
Yeah, he was the last.
The only position they would give plays like
I hope he
safety.
isn't the last one.
I mean, yeah, there'll be a unicorn. There'll be somebody that comes along, and everyone's going to be like, "Well, damn, he could really fucking play," and then that will birth more who can play that position because eventually, just like
because look at Harrison from
Harrison Smith.
Yeah, look at him. He's a monster. This guy's an all-pro safety. All-pro safety. Every year he's been in the league.
Safety.
How many white safeties do you see in the league? I mean, you had the dude from San Diego.
Hyde. You got Micah Hyde.
Right, but what I'm saying, like, all pro. But what I'm saying, like, Harrison Smith has been consistent every single year. It's like, you don't fucking do this on this dude. And you had the dude who was on San Diego who went to Baltimore. I'm just blanking on the name now because I'm drunk, but that's fine. But yeah, you have a few of them. But like safety, safety, because they'll come up and they'll knock your fucking block off because they're fucking psycho. But like you will have another great white corner. And so that's what I'm saying. That like CMC, Christian McCaffrey, is showing them like, oh, we also can play this too. And this is a thing that I want to see in the league. Like we don't have to like put an ethnicity to a fucking position.
Well, Nyce. Let me throw it to you.
So long.
Yeah, Nyce. Let me throw it to you because the ethnicity, there is a shift in positional ethnicity, and Nyce is a huge NBA fan, so you now have the faces of the NFL at quarterback, both of the two highest paid players, both of them being black. And now you have the new face, and who is going to be pushed as the new face of the NBA as a white player from Europe. So eventually there will be a white corner because having a white player as the face of the NBA is something that I didn't think I would ever see again, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't see it coming neither, but yeah, he will be. He definitely will be.
And honestly,
motherfucker's nasty.
That's what I was just about to say. Honestly,
that motherfucker is nasty.
Yo, I hate. It's not that I hate the NBA. I haven't watched the NBA since Tim Duncan retired, but I actually watched the playoff bubble games with Luka playing. I wanted to watch him play.
He's nasty.
Yeah, he's definitely got
nasty.
the it factor. He's the it factor. He can do it all. He can do it all.
Imagine him and then also a healthy Porzingis. Yo, they would have bounced the Clippers, and then would have been. And
they would have did it if they wasn't hurt.
Hell yeah!
That's why I knew they wasn't gonna beat
now
Denver.
Dallas and the Lakers.
All right, so Nyce. Let me ask you this because now we're just talking about sports, which is fun because I know we professionally talk about the NFL, but now this is we're moving on to some other shit. So, what if Giannis goes to Dallas?
Oh my goodness. That would be disgusting. He goes to Dallas' championship immediately.
Immediately.
Immediately. Just past the ring, man. As long as everybody's healthy.
In this, who could pull that off is Mark Cuban.
That's
If
what
he
I'm.
doesn't give up KP or the point guard and he can get Giannis, chips.
But Giannis said he the two teams he really looking at is if he do leave would be the Raptors and the Heat, which.
But Giannis is so committed to Milwaukee that
You know where I would like to see him go, honestly, is Portland.
I would
that
for
would
him
be
to play
great.
with Dollar and fucking CJ. Oh my god, I want them guys to. I love those guys.
They would.
Especially
They could get a. They could get a chip if he went to Portland because he's the piece. The piece that they need, and the players that are there do all the things that he doesn't. So that would be a really good fit for them. Would be Portland.
Man, Dame, like Dame was like, oh, Steph Curry, you shoot deep like that. I'm gonna learn how to do that. And now I believe Dame shoots better from deep than Steph does.
Yeah.
Like on a consistent basis, absolutely.
What an evolution that Steph Curry has brought to basketball, where we're sitting here talking about who shoots better from 60 feet.
Steph Curry basketball. Steph Curry basketball.
Yeah, that's incredible that someone's saying that someone pulling up realistically from 35 to 40 feet in actual length is a good shot. That is retarded.
Yep.
Yeah, he's pulling up from the logo.
Steph Curry is always going to be in the rafters. Always. He changed the game.
There are very few players who changed the way that the game that they play professionally is for history, and that's when you are looking at all-time greats.
He's up there with Wilt Chamberlain. Wilt Chamberlain changed it. They changed so many rules for basketball because of Wilt Chamberlain. They changed the game again because of guys like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Well, in the college game, they stopped dunking because of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And then Kareem Abdul-Jabbar learned the hook. And then he brought the hook shot to the league, and it became the most unstoppable shot in the league.
I don't remember a player in the NBA actually altering the entire game like this before.
Yeah.
The whole game changed across the world, not just in the NBA. The whole world has changed the way they play.
Did it because now look at James Harden, and now also look at James Harden with the step back. James Harden has also now changed how everything goes with his step back. James Harden took what Curry did and it was like, okay, well, I need to create space. This is not a walk because I still kept my dribble alive, and I can take my now. As soon as I pick my dribble up, I can still take my 2 steps this way, that way, and I can still get my shot off.
Yo, Nyce. Random question that I had in my mind. What would have happened if Pat White would have been a rookie coming into the NFL now instead of when he did come in?
Oh yeah, it would be he would flourish.
Because Kyler Murray's getting busy and Pat White.
About Slayton. I was thinking about Slayton. Slayton would kill right now.
Pat White was different though. You're looking at the all-time he's the only college quarterback ever to win 4 bowl games. You're looking at somebody who
he was a small dude and he got destroyed.
Yeah, he did, but in today's NFL, he would actually last, and that would have been really fun to watch because Pat White was fucking amazing.
Yeah, he definitely was. He was exactly what Kyler Murray is right now. Is what he was. So, yeah, he would have definitely flourished right now.
Yeah, Kyler Murray's got a better arm. So what's the score?
93-75.
Yeah.
Denver is doing damage right now.
Really, it's Denver's up.
Yeah, Denver's up there.
Do you think that the LA's just letting them win this game because they told them to make it interesting?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. They don't really look like they're really into it right now.
I mean, you know how that goes, man. They don't want it to be a sweep. They got like, yo, let's draw this shit out, man.
Yeah. I mean, after this, they go into the finals, so why sweep to go to the finals?
Yo, so who are they going to play against in the finals?
Miami.
Uh,
I believe Miami's gonna do it.
Probably. I would actually rather see them play Boston because it's a better matchup personnel-wise.
Yeah.
But I don't think it matters. I think LeBron goes ahead and gets a chip. And what's funny about your guy LeBron is you remember before this whole playoff bubble, he was saying, whatever playoff format they have doesn't count as a real NBA championship, blah, 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 blah. I bet you when they go and win this chip, he's talking about, oh, yeah, this is another chip. I'm now like, whatever, like 4-47 in NBA finals or whatever his record is. Yo, LeBron is the Buffalo Bills of the NBA. This guy been to more finals and lost than anybody. But the NBA has been proven time and time again is you cannot do it by yourself. And I get it. He's had some terrible teams. But he's about to win a chip this year, and he's going to exalt himself as, I am the greatest of all time.
Terrible. He has been on a lot of terrible teams.
But I will say this. If
level you do it on is on college because Danny Manning did it at Kansas.
Well, the only thing that I will say about LeBron is, I'm not I'm objective. Yes, we were talking about probably the most freak athlete who's ever existed in the history of freak athletes. That's retarded what he's capable of. But as far as career total, if you go to the Tom Brady argument where Tom Brady is the most accomplished, therefore he is the greatest, but he is not the best or most athletic. At 17 years in the league, playing the way LeBron is, as a total career, he's not greater than Mike. But playing at this level at 17 years is better than what Mike did at the end of his career.
So let me interject something real quick. So so when Shaq left the Lakers, when it was him and Kobe, and then he went to the Heat, and the Heat were like players, and they made the playoffs, but they didn't make it all the way. But then Damon Jones, U of H Cougs, was their point guard, whatever. And they couldn't make it with him, but Dwayne Wade was on that squad, right? So the thing is that Shaq was on that team, but Dwayne Wade was the star. And when Shaq said, Dwayne Wade, you are the one who's going to lead us to the chip, Dwayne Wade beat fucking Dallas. Just listen to the names that I'm going to list that I'm going to come off the top of my dome with, that was on that Miami Heat squad that beat Dallas. Alonzo Mourning, James Posey, White Chocolate, Gary Payton, Antoine Walker, Shaq, Dwayne Wade, and I'm missing guys, and I'm not even naming other guys, but I'm naming the guys I already named are like, oh shit, they were on that team. Michael Doliak was on that team. Whatever.
Did you just say Michael Doliak?
I did, but I'm just remembering names off the top of my dome right now. But what I'm saying, I named who did I already name? You know what I'm saying? Alonzo Mourning, fucking Gary Payton, White Chocolate, Antoine Walker, James Posey. Dwayne Wade was the lead dog on that team, and he is the one who led them to the chip, right?
I bet you Jason Williams could have played corner.
Oh yeah, I bet. Oh yeah, if he really focused on that.
I bet you if he would have went to football with Randy, I bet you because he would have played against Randy his whole life. Who better to practice against? That would have been interesting.
And the way that he practiced incessantly, just like Randy practiced incessantly. But the thing that I'm saying is this: it's you have these guys, just like you were saying earlier, like they would have been who they would have been regardless. Like, so who do we have right now? So we have so we have the Lakers and Denver. Lakers.
This is almost a foregone conclusion. That's what I'm saying, though. So it's just like, this is why football is so dope, because they start and we're going to run our full season and then go through an actual playoff. So the one thing that I wanted to go ask you guys before we end this for this week is Monday night's matchup is Kansas City and Baltimore. Normally, a Week 3 matchup between two teams that are going into the playoffs wouldn't be as a big deal. And I asked you guys earlier if you think they're going to hold anything back. And what I didn't factor in is, correct me if I'm wrong, there's only one team that gets a playoff bye this year, correct? Because there's an extra wild card team, so only the number 1 seed gets a bye, because 2 through 7 are playing each other.
Yeah.
So now this game holds more credence than I had originally thought, because there's only one playoff bye at stake in Week 1. So now it is a big deal.
Yeah. It's gonna be exciting.
It's just too bad that every single game on Sunday, except for the Raiders at New England, basically fucking sucks. So we will get to watch the Raiders at New England at 1, and then the 4 o'clock game will be Dallas at Seattle. And then, so I guess if you're just watching one game, Sunday won't be that bad. But if you like to bounce between games, it's going to fucking suck, yo. There's a lot of mediocre football going on this week.
Yeah, very much so.
Well, if I know Nyce.
Okay, so all right. So now, if we're gonna spotlight this game, let's make a pick on this game right here. This is the spotlight game of the week. So spotlight game of the week, who we got?
Oh man, see, I can't make that pick without doing proper research.
Fuck you. Yes, you can.
All right, if you're going to put me on the spot, I've already picked Baltimore mentally because of the scenario playing out, that how the Chargers looked against Kansas City's offense, and nobody goes undefeated. It's too hard. It's too hard in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, even that year that Indianapolis could have gone undefeated and they chose to lose the last 2 games of the year, they lost in the Super Bowl to New Orleans. So it's just too fucking hard. The Patriots, who had the best offense that we has ever seen in the history of football at that point, couldn't do it. They lost in the Super Bowl. It's just too fucking hard. Yeah, see, it happens. That's how difficult it is. It's impossible to run the table in football. So I don't even see Kansas City doing it, because I don't trust their defense, and I don't see them stopping Baltimore's offense.
I actually see Baltimore winning this game as well.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, I'm going with B-more on this one.
Yeah, I think everybody's going to, and whenever I ask the Huntin Hillbilly what his pick is, he's going to pick Baltimore and think that he's like picking against the grain, and not realizing that everybody who watches football is probably, if you watch all NFL Insider, Pat McAfee, any of these shows, ESPN, they're all going to pick Baltimore. There are teams that are going to pick Kansas City, but everybody's going to be like, straight up, it's going to be Baltimore, because Kansas City's going to have to lose. I think I had Kansas City going 14-2 on my preseason season pick, so they're going to lose at least twice in my book.
14-2, amazing season. But you got to lose.
I see them losing this one, and again, I see them losing against the Chargers. If there are no fans in Kansas City, I see them losing against the Chargers.
If you have Justin Herbert starting, like Justin Herbert, like listen, the Giants were looking at Justin Herbert, like they were like evaluating, but Justin Herbert didn't come out that year. He decided to stay in, and then they chose a quarterback from goddamn Duke, a basketball school. Fucking idiot.
Yo, I wish we had been doing this show for like 7 years, so we had reached the point where we had like graphics and shit, because I would love to have a side-by-side graphic on who all are nicest guys and who aren't nicest guys. so we could have a running tab. But I'm going to have to remember as a running tab that Justin Care Bear is definitely not Nyce's guy, no matter, because I want to see Justin Care Bear get busy all season, and then I want to see Nyce try to sneak it in that that's his guy, because Justin Care Bear is not Nyce's guy.
Right.
No, he's a great player. I just he just doesn't fit the my guy category.
That's how we're going to rank NFL players, whether or not you're Nyce's guy. That's our rating system. Because if you're Nyce's guy, that means that you can play. But that means that you can't play at a level that you're going to be on Nyce's team, because
You're gonna be Jets level.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what would happen if Justin Airbear ended up on the Jets? Would he ever become your guy?
Oh yeah, he would have been my guy there.
Yeah, because
Oh yeah, all of a sudden.
not Cary, because every single player who's ever existed on the Jets roster has been Nyce's guy. It's been hilarious. I've been friends with Nyce for like 15 years, dude. It's been a fun run. It's been absolutely hilarious for all of these, the absolute and total Rolodex of ineptitude that has come out on the field in New Jersey, and all of them have been Nyce's guy, and they've all sucked, except Geno Smith. Geno Smith was never Nyce's guy. He hated that at all times.
Yeah, I hated Geno, man. I mean, you got to root for your team, But I knew some of the players were incapable. I knew some of them were.
Still in the league.
No, so here's the funny thing about that.
You know who he's with?
Cary, here's the funny thing about Geno Smith. I will put an asterisk on that. When he was drafted, Geno Smith was Nyce's guy, but I had to tell him every single day until I broke him that Geno Smith is going to throw 17 interceptions a game, and you are going to hate him. And it wasn't one quarter of play before Nyce was just like, yo, he's not my guy no more. Like, it was over for Geno Smith.
Listen. Geno Smith broke all three of us because that piece of shit coach that we had decided to end Eli's streak with starting Geno goddamn Smith against the Raiders. And the result was the G's still lost.
Wow, Cary, you know what? I never even thought about that. Geno Smith is literally enemy number one against gray matter, because he did ruin Eli's starting streak for absolutely no reason. He ruined all hopes the Jets had of any quarterback play for the next 3 years by getting his jaw broke by a backup running back at that in the locker room. Amazing. Never happened in the NFL before. Never. Not even during the Coke era when Lawrence Taylor was playing and shit and there were prostitutes in the fucking locker room did that shit happen. And then he also ruined...
break my quarterback's jaw.
He also ruined many a days for me as a West Virginia native and Mountaineer fan, because not only does he fucking suck, but I also went to the Pinstripe Bowl with this girl that I was banging at the time at Yankee Stadium with Geno Smith against Syracuse, and this motherfucker, dude, I think he was 6 or 7, honestly. Without exaggerating, it was either 6 or 7 interceptions, and the girl, and it was cold as shit, and it was raining, and I got the tickets as a gift, so I wanted to stay for the game and be a supportive Mountaineer, and the girl I was with left in the middle of the first quarter, and I'm just sitting there by myself in the rain watching Geno Smith throw fucking interceptions at Yankee Stadium. The shit was fucking miserable, I fucking hate Geno Smith.
Yes, I hate him too.
As a matter of fact, if I ever go to Philadelphia, I'm never eating a Geno sub just because of Geno Smith. I'm going to the other place.
There it is. But you know what, though? To put a beautiful spin on this, the best job in America is backup quarterback. And guess what Geno fucking Smith is?
Oh, yeah, he lives for that.
All right, nice. Last thing before we get off here is, speaking of backup quarterbacks, because when you say the word backup quarterback, who has had the best backup quarterback career in NFL history? To you. Who think about it real quick, and I know who my answer is just because of how much money he has made and what little he has had to do over his career.
Wait, okay. Well, give me qualify. A backup quarterback who never became a starter, or
No. So if you were a backup quarterback and you were just like, yo, man, I'm just happy to be in the league. I'm gonna hold this clipboard. Who had the best backup quarterback, like stereotypical, came in, made a couple throws, and then just held the clipboard forever, and not like Jeff Hostetler, who came in and won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I was like, define backup.
Chase Daniels.
I was
Oh,
like,
yes.
let me
Oh,
think.
yes. They
Chase
did.
had an amazing career.
Dude, he's been in the league for like 13 fucking years. He's made like $150 million. He's thrown like 4 passes.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Dude, he literally has made over $100 million and has done nothing. He was Drew Brees' backup for like 9 years and never saw the field.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
He was the new age Gary Kubiak, because Gary Kubiak was a career backup, and Gary Kubiak's career stretched because he was behind John Elway.
Yeah, but Gary Kubiak didn't make $100 million, man. Chase Daniels has made...
This is what I'm saying. He's the new age Gary Kubiak. That's what I'm saying.
Chase Daniels, man.
Backup quarterback is the best job in America.
Yo, if I were an NFL player and my goal was not to be in the Hall of Fame, that I would want Chase Daniels' career, because you have literally had to do absolutely nothing. Because clearly you don't care about football if you don't want to be in the Hall of Fame, and you made $100 million. You have absolutely no wear and tear on your body whatsoever.
None.
What a career! What a I wonder.
Stingy was De Niro.
Man, I wonder what his career stats are going to end up being versus how much money he made doing it. Like his...
Oh, it's the upside down is going to be amazing.
Like his touchdowns per millions that he made, like how many millions it cost teams per touchdowns he's thrown in his career. It's absolutely incredible. Chase Daniels, shout out to you. Capitalism is dope, and you won at the game of capitalism. This has been week 3 of Gray Matter, where nothing is ever black and white except the people talking about sports that you're watching do it right now. So, yo, Nyce, before we get out of here, what's the score?
Wait, the Lakers came back, baby.
I'll see. Now I'm gonna roll a blunt and watch the rest of this game because it got exciting. Because once again, nicest guy, whoever's doing good is nicest guy. Got busy. So
Rondo in LeBron, playoff Rondo in LeBron.
you already know. These are my homies right here. Shout out to everybody for coming through. Yo, so just to let you guys know while you're on here, week 2 got. I don't know how many more, but it was more than week 1. So we're just going to continue to keep going on, which is always dope. Shout out to everybody for sitting here watching us talk about football.
Yeah.
After all, what else you going to do? Because, yo, it's about to get fucking cold, and the Ronnie Roan's about to shut everything down again, yo. Y'all ain't going to have nothing to do but listen to us talk about this shit.
Yes, exactly.
All right, I'm finna watch basketball.
All right,
Holla back.
my homies, I'm out.
Homie.
Okay.
You ain't nice, God. Yo, so shout out to everybody for coming through, man. I really appreciate it. We out.